actually we just shake it and then pass it.
Say hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
Can the internet actually see me looking up synonyms to name my weapons?
I can.
I mean, now you do.
You can see the whiteness of your phone.
Hey. Yeah, you gotta come down. Come on.
Come on, my people there. The ear twitch.
I'm opening it up. What's this?
Holy shit, girl! I'm gonna eat all these treats.
You gotta come down here. You gotta come down here first. Oh, okay. Come on. And then away. And then slouch by Dad's feet because she's upset she has to wear a collar.
I think
I help. I don't know why she's seeking me for refuge.
You probably help. Like,
somebody's
don't
gonna
do
be
it
the
nearly
advocate.
as much.
Pass me that.
I believe the camera might have picked that up.
Bread nub.
You're a bread nub.
Is that why you like him
I
so
meant the other
much?
piece, but
I've
okay.
been called worse.
This one?
I meant the smaller piece,
Not
but
piece
you've
of nub
already.
Yep, nub.
It's just a bigger nub, Tony. You can do it.
Nub, nub.
This is the defeated son.
Come on, treat. I feel like I'm offering it to Megan, not actually offering it to Megan to feed the cat.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
You want a treat?
My desire
Pass down
for, my
the
desire
line
for
so you can get her
cheese
to come
bread overrides my desire to not be humiliated.
See if you can get her to come to you.
Don't eat it. It's for the
I
cat.
mean, you know,
Yeah,
good
that's
call.
for the cat.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. She's like, almost. And then both like, what is
Where's
this?
Rex?
You weren't
It's
paying
not for you,
attention.
Gotta go down the
Someone
line.
was just putting shit in your
I
face.
know. Like, what is this?
Yeah, start with John because that way she can go around.
She also
knows.
likes to inspect your fingers afterwards to make sure that they're
Just call her
absolutely
She's
over.
over,
normal.
wifey.
Oh.
Here you go.
And then Sally, put your hand. See if you can get her. Hi, go that way. Go the other way. There you go.
There it is.
Aw, you found it. Kitty cat.
Oh. she saw John and went, oh, more treats. More.
Okay.
You
No,
know,
you're
there's,
definitely getting inspected.
there's nothing left.
Sorry.
Kitty.
Oh yeah. We're gonna run one more inspection.
Yeah, she's gonna make another pass around, make sure she didn't miss anything.
Sasha's upstairs like,
Teach you to trust people, child. Yes. She's unbelievably cute.
she has these like big bush baby eyes.
Yep. It's just like bright yellow.
Yeah.
So I decided the axe was going to be chops McChoppity.
Okay.
So I've got stabbity, jabbity,
So the axe
and
is-
chops McChoppity.
So the axe is nobility.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, why not? Why not though?
He's a noble axe.
It's a noble weapon.
We'll see how many noble acts occur in this game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna freak out about this color for a second. What are you worried about? That color is bomb.
Right?
You look great, girl.
Jerk.
Look at. All right. Scribe.
Oh, well, the last thing we did was
That our guide dude.
And I'm getting a fancy gun. Probably the best money for that.
yeah, and before that we got to see the way justice works in the court.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the Congress.
Yeah, pissed
Yeah.
off people.
And then we also found out that our mission to like
Passing
clear out the rest of the werewolves is mostly clearing out women and children that are werewolves. What else? I mean, I feel like a bunch of you did like side quests and or personal quests.
Miss Allen and I spoke to a ghost.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Curtis Gordon, cute Bruja. Well, now he's dead. This is what I have written down.
No,
We did a mission to sort of clear that werewolf cluster, but then we're just like,
And all of us are like,
we're just gonna run them off. We don't need to kill all of them. Right?
yeah.
My notes. Alexander is a servant. People are eating. Should I be eating? Bertram goes to sleep in a box.
Love it.
This is what happens when you're scribes and Malkavian.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm here for it.
You
Do you
know,
also recall meeting Hickory?
Yes,
yeah, that's right.
William Hickory Hicks.
That's the
Hickory
guy.
Dickory Dock. Our guide. Mission: kill the werewolves.
Hickory comes with
Aw.
Aloysius, Ophelia,
Kevin and Gaylord.
Greg.
Known
He
as
ran
Greg?
up the clock for some reason.
So it's Greg, right?
Yeah.
I wrote Greg with a D.
Nice.
You were distraught.
Fuck it.
I just have Greg, Kevin, and another guy.
You know what? Fuck it. His name is Greg forever.
It's
now.
Greg now.
Jose.
You know how this table works.
My name is Greg. No, it's Greg.
Greg.
It's Greg.
Has she told you what we do to all of his NPCs in the last?
I mean, mostly.
They're all Jose.
Yeah,
If we adopt them, they're Jose.
Oh, okay. I got
That's how you know they're in the cool gang, because they inherit the Jose moniker.
So, like, if even the women are Jose, are we going all the way with that?
You could, yeah. Because
Yeah.
Josefina.
I was like, I wasn't gonna. I was
Uh-oh.
gonna say Josefina,
Okay.
just to be like Jose.
I know, it's
Yeah.
equal opportunity. They're all Jose.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
They sent you? Who are you? Jose. Oh, I'm Jose too. Oh, good. We're on the same
Except
team.
my character is very distraught because it's very mean to call someone not their given name because their given name is very
Whereas my
precious.
character is one who just keeps calling everybody Jose because she's like,
At least one of them is too polite to say, well, that's not my name. But, you know, that's...
to be fair,
And then my character thinks it's
I
funny. So
bumped with a Canadian. I'm
my
bored.
grandpa, his dad,
Oh, yeah, there
and all
you
of
go.
his brothers were all named Jose. So
so
Is it the 7th Sea game?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Because apparently this team is fucking George Foreman. And it's gonna be like, fuck this, I'm not gonna differentiate between my kids.
And, you know,
5 sons
easier.
all named George.
you'll lose
Done.
one, it's no big
Zero
deal.
experience points.
Then you feel
More
yourself
Jose.
in the
Yeah,
middle of the
just
George.
like his grills.
That's very sad.
we should have 8.
4.
You have
Total. I have 8.
you have 8. You
We
have
had 5,
Yeah.
and
I had-
then
As a total.
Okay,
You should also
I didn't,
have-
I didn't
Did I spend
update
them?
my last
I might have
time.
spent mine.
Yes, I have 3 unspent and 5 spent, so.
Oh wait, I did spend some because I gave myself occult points because I'm an idiot. I did give myself the occult.
And I thought you were. I know you're banking because you got.
That's all right.
You got,
You know,
dots to,
I
you still got
forgot
dots to fill out. So,
Shit.
so I realize your vision.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have
I
I
give
spent
myself
one
a
second
gold
at
point.
second level visits too because I.
So I think you're in my notes. Your character is Canadian.
Other than that, yep. Yes, I'm banking.
Bill is the scamp.
yeah,
You're the
haven't spent it
Tamisi.
yet 'cause I always
You
forget
are
to spend it.
governess, and you are fancy gal.
Yes.
Okay, let's
I'm a
see.
lady.
Yeah, spend everything.
Yeah.
Just like in real life, my character is the Canadian.
Yeah.
Just like
That's the defining trait.
See, I've been kind of trying to write the notes like good names if I remember them, and I don't always remember them. So like,
My character's the Yank.
That's
She
right.
has a nondescript Yankee accent. Is it New York? Is it Boston? No.
I would like it to be known that the reason Bertram sleeps in a box is because he snores far too loud when he's set free.
I'm not judging. It's just characteristics. That's
He
how I
screams
remember
very
things.
loudly when he's inside the box, but it's muffled from the hood.
That's what she said.
I don't recall asking.
And that's exactly how that conversation goes.
Oh yeah.
This is every interaction with the Tunisi. I didn't ask you that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of information for everyone.
Like seriously, I couldn't myself thinking it as my character couldn't think of a nickname, so it was just like, okay, it's a Misu. That says it all.
Yep.
So I think we're done.
Close enough.
It's a good name.
Who has its tendons and the arm have the same tensile strength as steel? I don't. Why do I need to know that?
Well, you do now.
Right?
You didn't need to, but now you
Also,
do.
Where did she end up? Straight behind you.
she's right under Megan.
Okay.
She's just chilling right there.
Oh, I like a
If she's on
She being a
Is she on your
demon.
purse again?
She's not on the bag. She's like next to the
Yeah.
bag this time, but she's right underneath me because I'm
Yes.
her favorite.
At first. Megan's
Upstairs.
coat is
She doesn't
draped
come down much.
on the
Well,
back of the chair too,
Now
so
I know
she's
where
sort
the
of.
was groundhog.
She's in a little
I want the
candy.
meatball to come down.
Sasha is that bitch is out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She came out that one time when I was here.
yeah.
I feel blessed.
Hashtag
Hashtag
bless.
blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Beat you to
I
it.
hate you all.
I said
Oh my God.
nothing.
I felt the
It
flare
wasn't
up.
me.
So I started playing Kingdom Hearts 3. And they decided that between like loading screens, they're just gonna put weird, dumb Instagram things with like really awful hashtags.
No way.
Oh
The
yeah.
hashtag's like a hashtag inside of a little heart.
No way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's-
Kingdom Heartstagram.
Yeah. It's,
No.
And it's just as stupid as it sounds.
No.
Like,
why you gotta ruin something?
Sora gets a phone. It's a gummy phone, and you can like take selfies with like people in game.
Oh,
Be-
no.
because that game is awful. And I go,
Also because Japan.
Well, and
they're
it's-
into
Yeah.
their phones in a
It's a
major
trope in
way.
games now.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah,
play
like Breath
selfie
of the
mode.
Wild with all your selfies of animals.
Yeah.
And yourself.
You can do it in
Made
the Wind
more
Waker
sense in
remake.
like Spider-Man.
It was
than
great in
did-
Spider-Man. You had
Yeah.
stickers you could put all over it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Dude, he had his own little line messenger.
Yeah.
And he's also a photographer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's what
And
it
he's
is.
sending pictures of
Which-
himself
and
to
also-
change
Which I actually, I pull the editor on that one because I hate photographers. But
I hate it.
I'm sorry.
They really kind of ruin things.
Oh, because of all the shit.
Oh.
They're
They
special.
just don't
And the-
understand.
They're special.
the inability to want to understand.
Like how our product works.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
No, it's pretty awful. They're just like
Not all
You're like-
times.
yes, I know we have a limited
Not all photographers.
backup for $5, but backup is not the same as storage, and we have notes about which files we back up versus which ones we don't. And they're like, I want you to back up everything. We're like, well, we don't. And we're like, well, I don't understand. I pay $5 a month for this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
$5 a
you
month
pay
for
$5 a
it.
month, aren't you?
You get what you pay for. Huh?
Correct.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
You
but-
get a lot for
It's
what
under
you,
your chair so
you get a lot for what you pay for. And
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean it's going to take me 2 days to get my 30 terabytes of data back?
It's like
Right.
It's,
It's 30
it's right.
terabytes.
Yeah.
it used to be a month. Shut up.
Yeah, right.
It's like, dude.
Tell you what,
Actually, you might
we'll get it to your hard
jack
drive
your brain into
in
it.
a couple of minutes.
Right.
No problem. You just mail us your hard drive. and
No,
we'll
we don't
send-
do that. No. People ask for that shit too. No.
Oh, Jesus, really? I was
No.
joking. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, I'm triggered.
I
Okay.
know. I'm sorry.
Me and my coworker got,
Came here to have a
coworker
good
got
time.
in a fight with a woman not yesterday, but the other day because she didn't understand why there were fines on her account
For like
Yeah.
books.
for movies specifically. But she
Okay,
had these
yeah.
fines, and she's like, yeah, but I returned them. I'm like, yeah, we know you returned them, but you returned them late. That's why there's a fine. But I returned them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, you don't get the fine doesn't get put on your account until you return it.
Because we can't find you
You
until
don't
we
go away
know
just
how
because
long
you
you've
turned it in.
been.
Until it's back and we know how late it is. But I returned it. Right.
But not
It's
on the agreed
well-
day you were supposed to.
But I didn't even check that out here. I checked that out at the other branch. It's like, yeah, we're all part of the same system.
Yeah,
so
we
I was
don't
like,
care.
no, you're not. You guys are all separate. We're like, we
I-
know whether or
That
not.
changed a while ago.
I do believe.
Yeah, it's like, no, we're all okay. And she just like kept insisting that like she had returned them, so there shouldn't be fines. And we were like showing her account on the computer, being like, yes, you returned them, but they were due on this day, and you returned them on this day. So the
So
space in
logic.
between those two things is where the fine comes
That's where the fine comes in.
Right.
in.
That
And,
brings
like,
another new thing too.
And
Like, how do you
yeah,
not know how this
well,
works?
and then she ended up being like, well, I'm never coming back to this branch again. But it's like, cool. It
Okay,
doesn't matter
bye.
what branch you go to.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
You're not a
Thanks.
customer. This is a public.
Yeah.
I work for the city. I'm not selling anything to you.
This is a public
Right?
service.
This is
Not a
a
I don't have like
business.
sales goals to meet, lady, so I don't give a shit. Like,
Don't make commission on
It's like
these
there's people in
rentals.
Facebook groups
Dude, if
that are
we
all
did-
like, I'm leaving, so I'm posting that I'm leaving.
Okay.
Like, no one actually cares if you're leaving.
Oh my god! So that tea drinker's group that I'm part of?
Did you finally get tired of it?
No.
Wait,
So
wait, I just want to remind you that you're online, so like I don't know if you hear.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay,
Okay.
So there's one dude who joined and was like, "Hey, don't judge me. I drink tea by the tea bag," and everyone was like, "That's cool." And someone like, haha emoji the thing
Mm-hmm.
because they thought he was being funny, but apparently he was being like, "Oh no, please don't judge me. I still drink tea from tea bags." And everyone was just like, "Cool, man, whatever. I drink tea from tea bags. I have tea from tea bags. Not a big deal."
Yeah.
And so like every time he posted something, there's this one person that would like kind of haha things like,
Was
haha,
it the
it's
same
okay.
person every time?
Yeah, and so this guy got really butthurt and like went to the admin and was like, "That guy is mocking me constantly and laughing at everything I say, and I just like it's just I don't feel safe here."
Dear,
And so
you don't know how to internet.
and so the
right?
admin was like, "Hey guys, please be respectful. If we find that you're not being respectful, we will, ban you from the club, from the group." And then everyone was like, "Who's being disrespectful? Wait, I'm gonna go back." And so like,
Oh, they were like looking
Okay.
for
hundreds of people went
trying to like find out what was happening.
and everything was
wow.
posted to be like, "Wait, who did it? Who was it?" And then someone was like, "I can't see what's written on this post. Can someone tell me what's going on?" They're like, "Ooh, you got blocked from this guy." And he's like, "Well, I blocked this person because she mocked me." And he's like, "No, I didn't. No one did this." And then like 24 hours later, "I guess I'm just not welcome here. This isn't my place.
Well,
I'm sorry for causing problems. I'll leave."
after
And everyone
all
was
that
like,
ridiculousness.
"Okay."
Wow.
And then like an hour later, "I'm leaving now. Goodbye." Okay. Everyone, haha.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Perfect. Mom, they're laughing at my bags.
I don't even.
Bro,
know.
this is a tea drinking group.
Right.
You take this way too
and
seriously.
everyone went, and like every comment was like, oh, try this tea. It's okay if you don't do that. Like nothing. No one said anything negative whatsoever. But like, just the haha emoji just set him off. And he just,
Wow.
I'm a parent. I'm not welcome. And not that he wasn't welcome, but I'm not a right fit. I don't fit in with the rest of you. It's
Now
just
with
like,
that attitude.
yeah,
Tell
okay.
him
Also,
Tell him to go
does it
join.
matter?
Tell them to go join some sort of tea drinking subreddit. I'm sure that'll be so much more tolerant.
Just so much
Far less toxic.
I feel like
Yeah.
She back
somebody
by you?
needs to go in real life.
Well, she was by
No,
Tom.
she's under my code.
Okay, I was like, she just keeps moving.
My code is providing some sort of like dark cave for her to hide.
Yeah, there's sort of
Her
a
cave is
tunnel.
over there. I don't know why she's not. Whatever.
Yeah, you put the curtain back. So
There's
Yeah.
sort of a 10 tunnel like right over
Yeah, I was gonna
there.
say, like,
Yeah.
We have one of those tunnels from IKEA, and she
Oh, there she is.
it's the shit.
she's it is the bee's knees.
No.
JC refers to her as the gremlin because she just lurks in there.
When you walk by, it'll be like, you're like, oh god, it's attacking my toes. What's happening?
But yeah.
Okay, so anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
back to what we're doing.
So we get silver and then we all go home to sleep in the morning
I assume.
because we're gonna leave at dusk. Yeah,
At the break of dusk.
Mm-hmm.
at the sink of dusk.
Is that what it's called?
Well, it's definitely not the break of dusk.
At the fall of dusk.
Fall of
That's
dusk.
better.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you gotta get it. You gotta get it right.
And get the vernacular right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. You all awaken once more. Lose a blood point, gain a willpower as you reaffirm your existence for yet another night.
Every night I go to bed, I write my husband a letter. Or every morning I go to bed, I write my husband a letter. So it's been 2 nights. So I went downstairs to go see if there's anything for me.
Actually, yes, there is a postcard
Okay.
that says
From Mr.
says my dearest, etc. Sent this.
Tell that
Sure,
Tony was
sent-
not prepared to write this letter.
And some sentimental
Yeah.
shit here.
It says Spring Break 1842.
some blossoms as well.
Does anyone here like
That sounds like a euphemism.
beer? Not beer. Like more like cider kind of drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Oh yes, the crowler.
Yeah, the crowler.
You're about to get crowled.
Yeah.
I didn't
All
read
right.
that before.
Sounds like
But yes,
I also-
effectively it's
I also
a
have a letter.
excellent. Yes, it's effectively.
Oh, I'm glad somebody heard that.
It was me.
Yeah, I know.
I see an
Yeah,
upset
there it
face and I feel sad that I missed it.
You said you're about to be crowled. I said crowd.
Oh yeah.
Why? Why did you say it again? It's
Because
so,
Because
If
I
you
was
wanted
letting
to
him know what
share
the
with
joke
the
was.
class.
Because I'm your DM daddy.
Oh,
It's a nomenclature. It's a term. I accept it. I'm not embarrassed by it. Do I embarrass you?
I'm not fighting it.
Don't teach me.
Don't DM shame. No DM shaming. Oh, I almost got both.
man.
Doubles. I'm up
So,
early.
So there's a place in San Mateo called Fieldwork Brewing Company, and they make crowlers.
Yeah.
And this is Blueberry Parfait, which is a kettle sour ale.
All right. That sounds tasty.
All right.
So what the heck is a crowler?
It's a
growler,
can
but a
growler.
It's like a 40.
So a growler is like
Oh.
one of those really
Big
cool
jugs.
jugs.
Only it's 32,
Yeah.
not
All
40.
right, I got like a few of these.
Thank you.
All right, hang on. Two
I'll
more.
just take a sip of his because I don't usually like sour beer.
Okay,
So I'll see if I like it.
But it's
Yeah.
a sour.
I'll have a sip too.
you'll have a sip.
I
I'll
feel
give you
like
a
it's gonna
sip
be
of mine.
sweet.
It is.
Yeah, it's a sweet. It's a sweet.
You have to approach
It's a
it
sweet one.
not as a beer,
It is a beer.
more as a
I
meal.
did that wrong because I'm a
Not-
horrible human being. Here you go.
not
You
sponsored
pour your own
by-
because I can't
Yeah,
pour
Dr.
for
Pepper.
shit.
Yeah, give me a sip out of your cup.
You're gonna have to wait.
I'll
I
have to
poured
wait
in my
till
soda. What are you doing?
I mean, it might work out.
You know, I was making a little mixy mix.
But yeah, your
And then
your postcard is effectively
John's got a cup.
your husband sending out an advanced letter to be like,
Thank you very much.
I love you. I hope you got there okay. I can't hear to wait back from you. Love, kiss. XOXO.
That's basically what she wants, so it's fine.
I sent a letter to my sire going, "What would you like me to do with this crazy president? Because he's crazy."
It's whatever I was expecting that to taste like. It did not taste like that.
He's literally
Huh.
crazy.
But I mean, is the thing it actually tastes like?
I mean,
that?
I think it's rather tasty.
Oh.
The smell is very,
So
very.
like, can I have some?
You want a sip of John's?
Just so I can
No,
feel like I'm
Sparkles?
drinking things with
No.
people.
Oh,
I want to
sure.
be that.
I'm drinking with you because I've had this and it was beer.
It was beer.
Come on. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have any more than what I poured myself, but I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Like I don't hate it, but I'm not like. It's not
No,
really
it's,
a thing I wanna drink.
I
It's a
don't regret it,
pleasant-
but I
it
It
wouldn't
was
do
not
it
a
again.
flossy cork moment.
No. It
I
tastes a
felt
little
that
bit
way
like
about a lot of the
soda.
IPAs I drank that night.
IPAs are terrible.
IPAs are delicious and amazing.
So I will drink an IPA before I will usually drink a stout, and so we did like a flight.
Oh, fuck
but
it. Give me that last nub.
There it is.
That's the proper term.
but
Kept sitting there taunting you the whole time.
they did have, it was called hot chocolate, but it was a Mexican hot chocolate stout, so it had like the Mexican spices in it. That was actually pretty tasty for a
That
stout.
sounds good.
Yeah.
I super love stouts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very,
Happy.
very
it's a little
like
more. It's like
blackberry.
you can taste the wheat part of it, where it's like, oh, that's the beer, but
But very, very soft.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not mad. I'm not gonna have any more than what I poured myself.
You
Yeah,
get
Yeah.
that-
to be fair, I don't drink
That's what I
anything, so
I'm
my
not upset by this beer.
liquor
No.
don't count.
You get that
Exactly.
Get
right,
past it.
right on the back end, right before the sour.
Liquor and or other fermented things, because I
See,
realized
yeah,
liquor could
no.
be things that aren't beer. Anyway.
No, it's just
That's how
less
you
now,
get
so that's
through
why
the
it's fun.
head, is you gotta drink.
Also-
I wasn't even
not
being-
take, I was supposed to
Or
say, not
you
take
just
yourself
put your
seriously when you
finger
were
in it
saying
and
that.
go, "Blah, blah, 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 blah."
That's what I was trying to do.
I don't
It's
recommend
very
that
berry.
technique.
No.
Blackberry.
It's gonna be so dry. It's like in
Fucking
desert.
fancy
How does it
bitches
go
and
away?
shit,
So
isn't
So
it?
many teeth.
How much teeth do you want?
None. Negative teeth.
I'm like, hold on. Let me get all the moisture out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
My favorite.
Okay, so
Do I have a letter?
you gotta get the keys you can jangle.
Oh no, that's fine.
I'm
I'm
not
letter.
expecting any
No,
No,
letters.
you've been there one night.
Oh.
2 nights.
Whatever. Still, the mail in 1800s is not email.
I feel like I just missed it.
It is
It's
almost
pony mail.
literally snail mail.
Yes.
So if you're not awake, I'm like, I shake you.
I've
Actually, no,
instructed
even if you
Bertram-
are awake, I still shake you.
No, I am.
I've instructed Bertram to write me letters.
We're going! We're going!
So
It's
that
time to
when I
go!
wake
It's
up,
time to go!
I
It's time to
get
go!
a letter
It's
from
time to
Bertram.
go!
It just says French.
Alright, just let me get dressed.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Master.
Hurry up! Hurry up!
Go faster.
He's really good at ease.
Yeah. He's surprisingly good at handwriting. That's the weird bit.
Love
I get dressed
Bertram.
up.
I make him do all of my dictation.
I'm very curious to see what that looks like in the end.
He's really good at ease.
I just imagine him like just hunched over a table, like really low. Like
No.
just looking at
Yeah,
really
with
close
the,
by.
with the
It's
Just
really
like his
the,
head is almost like
Yeah.
lying on
it's
it.
really the extra 2 fingers that help with it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
As it would. He can flip you off twice with one hand. Holy Samisi.
Such efficiency.
Such efficiency.
You can flip somebody. You can flip the double bird.
Well,
The
still
jewel
one
unicorn while still holding your
right.
beer.
So after checking your mailboxes, thank you, admin crew, and or shaking your companions awake.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go! Come on, let's go! Let's go now! Let's go now! Let's go
Get in
now!
my boots. No. Gotta
I
get
thought you
dressed.
slept with those on. You gotta take your boots off to put
Oh,
your pants on.
no. Come on, like I'm not sleeping in the tent. I'm sleeping in drawers.
Yeah.
He's gonna enjoy that
Yeah.
while it lasts.
You guys get out to a sort of an assembly field outside of town, where Hickory told you the crew would meet up, and you see a lot of stuff being lashed to wagons and some mules and a few horses, and you can see that there's actually some late night humans out there, still working with a few of his ghouls on, how many pounds of flour are we going to need? How much sugar are we going to need? Do we want to pack extra axles? Do
Fucking
we
Oh,
Oregon
no.
Trail. God damn it.
Damn it all.
do you want to pack any penicillin or
We're immune to dysentery.
Thanks.
so and there and so you hear a lot of we're only going to Kansas City, and they're like, yeah, but no, you're going all the way, you're going to make it all the way, you're going to California, and they're like, no, we're just going, no, it's going to be a few days out and we're coming back. And they're like, you're never going to come back, you're going to go to the hills. You need to buy all the stuff.
Wow.
Some oxen.
The moment you're out these doors, we'll lock them. You can come back here.
I feel like as I pass anybody who's awake, I just shake them and go, are you awake? I'm awake. Are you awake?
You understand
It'll be
the
fine.
importance.
You know the truth.
No.
We're all awake.
That's why I'm
We're
shaking
just
them.
not woke.
We're not woke.
Yeah.
None of us are woke.
I can't remember her name.
That won't exist for over a century.
We gotta be ahead of the times, man.
So
We're about to.
Philippa shows up with Chloe in tow. Chloe.
Uh-huh.
And Chloe is literally like red-faced and pulling like the trunk as best she fucking can, and she's just like, taking too long.
She apologizes in French.
It's just 3 days away.
In between grunts
Right.
and gasping.
Bad. Je suis désolé.
One of the
Just
Frederick, one of
Frederick.
Hickory's ghouls comes over and is like, Miss, can I give you a hand? And she's like, no, I gotta do this myself.
Frederick instructs Bertram to go over and help. Bertram just hops up on top of the boxes.
Your trunk is a fucking gargoyle.
She's
On
just-
top lip.
She's
Chloe
just
is
fixing.
crying.
Yep, she's just. I don't give a shit. She's fixing the little pearls on the insides of the wrists of her gloves.
Several of the peddlers are are gone. They do
And
not
then
want to be
I'm like-
associated with whatever is going on.
Is she yours?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
okay. I'm like,
And she will do her chores as she's told to do.
It's like,
no, I just wanted to make sure she wasn't going to keel over before she finished.
Oh no,
Okay.
she's not allowed to do that yet.
Okay.
It's a little ice queen that's going on over on the side of the table.
That's right.
and I'm just going, hello, I'm awake.
They're fighting over the Ice Kingdom. Abe is on the porch, lighting his pipe.
So,
Oh, she'll do her own.
So, like, are we traveling, like, on a wagon? Or
so
what,
you
what is
notice
the-
there are a handful of wagons, each with a team of either mule or oxen, and there's each of Hickory's crew either heads a wagon or has a horse, and there seem to be a few humans, a few kind who are comfy, acquainted with Hickory's ghouls, so they most likely are aware of the nature of at least Hickory and his associates, so can assume along the lines of what the first night, the first day y'all spend only in a wagon, they'll figure it out pretty quick.
Fair.
But yes, there is a good handful of them, so everyone can be accommodated.
I feel like I see one of the wagons, I hop up
I
in the
call the
driver's
ox cut.
spot
There's actually a couple, but yeah.
on one of them, and I just bounce my seat. Go, Tasha wants to go. Tasha wants to go. Why are we not going?
The
Let's
person
go,
on the
let's go.
seat next to you is like, as soon as the one in front of us gets, we top speed,
Shotgun.
fast as these mules can pull. And so
So I'm just going faster, faster, faster.
he's holding the rein in front of where you're wiggling, so nothing actually translates to. He's like, yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's happening.
The hell do you eat?
Who the hell did you eat this morning? Yes, each of you notices that these
Which one of them
wagons
was on
appear to
opiates?
be special
did not
fittings, care of Hickory.
Okay. Yeah.
Each has
Diane, do you have
basically
anything that you don't want to eat?
basically has
Okay.
a
Are we eating?
a toolbox
Actually, like
that
Patty,
runs
like,
the
probably
length
have,
of
like,
one of
jerky.
the
Like, you
panels
can
that has
use.
extra siding, so that it's basically a coffin for
I'm
you,
like,
Oh, nice.
so that you know
I'm
that
not gonna get any of my
There's no blood in it.
nope, it's underwear time back there, baby.
I'll leave all my petticoats somewhere
Yeah.
else.
So right there next to the box.
Yeah. It's a big pile of krillins. Nobody look.
But yeah, so
Hey, Phil, I don't think you're gonna fit in here.
I am small enough to fit in anything, thank you.
Keep telling yourself that, lady.
As is proper, I get in whatever wagon is with Abe over there. Half because, men should travel with men, and
That's right.
half because I'm entirely interested in the fact that I've never seen
a proper Nosferatu.
a proper Nosferatu.
I don't know if
still
I
trying to
care
figure
about
out
this man.
whether or not I could
Um,
fix what's going on with his face or not.
Also,
Abe
I
is.
think you're my dad,
Um,
so I sit with you.
you've been sent
All right.
to
Well,
accomplish
we got-
this
We got this
on
one
your
with
own.
us.
Unless I said otherwise.
I don't remember.
I don't recall
Unless-
sending anyone out with you.
If anyone's from the president
anybody
cabinet
is,
was gonna
is
do this?
stopping Abe, he's
No, I don't
now
believe
busy
so.
just
No.
digging like
No.
a small groove on the side of the cart and then
Oh, there
drops
you
his
are. Hi.
rifle like
Oh,
on
guess
top
what?
the side of it. Just to,
So like, I'm just
Yeah,
basically
the-
like, Tasha's gonna sit with
the-
Axe Dad.
As soon as you sort of like settle in, light the pipe, like the guy you're riding shotgun with, he's like, okay, all right, this guy's all right. And then as soon as you start digging that groove out, like he sees the rifle, he's like, oh, good, yeah, no, this is gonna be all right.
I find myself sticking with Miss Allen. Light company.
so I guess it's the three of us. It's a weirdo cart.
Mhm.
Here.
Solo. I
Yeah.
ain't want none of you in my cart.
We're gonna sit and pretend not to know. Pretend the other one's not there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Get in, loser.
There
We're
you
going
go.
hunting werewolves.
Oh.
Aw.
Hickory.
Oh,
Bella
there you
seems to
go.
have accepted the fate.
Yeah.
This is how she likes it.
Oh,
She's just
Unless
great.
she's on me because I've taught her how to parrot, and then she just sort of claws into my shoulder blades and like hooks around this way,
Gets her,
which is adorable but super painful.
gets her claws in your shoulder meat.
Yeah, it hurts, dude.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Distracted.
Why
That's
can't
just
Rhea
cat.
be that?
This
that
is all called.
cuddly?
My cat isn't like this, so I gotta get it where I can.
Yeah, right.
But tummy time.
Yeah.
If you don't want to breathe for an hour and a half.
Y'all need to work on your core because when she sits on me, it's totally fine.
It's true. You're right.
Like, I don't have any problem.
It's about weight and reps. So
Like, I got no problem.
as you're all settling in for the road trip, Hickory comes riding up at a slow clip on his horse, and you see that it's a sort of gray and brown palomino. He looks over at Gred and is like get those vultures out of here and let's get moving.
Yay!
And he like he like
Hey, one of my personal
He
is like a
bolts over-
6-year-old or something.
no, I fully
Here we
understand. Yeah.
It's not gonna go that fast.
And he goes yay and sort of to the front of the line and it's like hello.
This is my ride for the next.
The first cart with the mule starts forward and the ox behind that and the mule behind that.
What is she doing?
Like,
Is she getting
just
comfy?
Carolyn.
And you guys roll
Like,
out
sometimes looking at the floor.
into the trail lit by the moon, the ruts of various wagons who've trucked before, clearly visible out into the field, out
Yeah.
into the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go.
It's the best feeling ever, isn't it?
Well, she's losing purchase, so she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
The moon sits high, the clouds race across it. Each of you wonders if that rainstorm's going to come back any moment. Stars peak also behind the different cloud clumps. And it seems to just hit where the sky sort of just hits the edge of the earth, where the ruts, you can see the same skyline behind it. Curated fields break out into unfinished or unsettled
it's fine.
land where it's just
Did you see this?
where it's just weeds, and yeah, various degrees of pensive acceptance and uncomfortable chit chat.
I'm very bored. I tried to
Very
play with
comfortable
Bertram.
silence.
You say very
I
comfortable,
tried
right?
very with
Oh yeah,
Bertram.
very,
Bertram's
very
very
comfortable
playful.
ignoring it.
Yay!
No,
Okay.
no, Bertram is effectively like a 5 or 6 year old.
So we are playmates
really
right now.
buff, like
Until-
25 or 30-year-old.
Until one of you gets mad and throws a tantrum.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. Which.
I don't know if I need to roll for that.
he's mostly kind of a Lenny. You
All
know?
right.
Don't give him any
I don't give him bunny. That's why I give him the weird little puppets made out of hands because he can't snap their necks. 'cause they don't have necks.
See, there it goes.
Oh no.
That's what I get.
You got the butt.
Yeah, shoulder cat. Your arm's gonna fall off.
I'm doing this.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, intervention.
That's why he's not allowed to have the feet.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's so weird.
What the fuck she doing, huh?
Yeah, like this one.
There you go.
She's like, I heard it.
Well, I got a good picture.
You want to show the ones you got earlier?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
She looks very distressed. This is she's got those big soft in her eyes.
Yep.
So
yes.
there.
So various degrees
Oh yeah.
of
Cool. Got that scratch.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. All right, so we've got this.
Wow.
And
No.
big old bug eye. But yeah, it's very. Oh yeah, glaring up at me from under the desk. Why is she staring at me all creepy? Because she wanted to be fed. Obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Yep.
But just getting higher.
Right there, right on the side of your head.
Mark it back. This is mine now.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
So yes.
during travels, Philippa starts to hum. Just a pretty thing that she hums.
We hum a little hum.
Yes.
At one point, like over at you, just sort of blink.
But it's the prettiest shit you ever heard.
I believe you, but I still blink, and then I just kind of go back to staring at the wall.
Wow. Look at us.
Oh, she's like needle pointing or something.
The moon crawls across the sky as you
I guess I'd probably be reading.
as the scenery
Yeah.
doesn't change at all. It's just sky to ground, rut, weeds drifting in the breeze.
At some point, I demand to be told a story. Just saying.
Once upon a time, French.
And then I turn to the next person and say, "Can you tell me a story?"
Well,
Once
I
upon
can
a
tell
time,
you about
French
this
happened.
one time with this pair of twins that were in the court. Well, see,
I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to hear it.
From the other car.
I was just going to talk about how nice.
Everyone roll a
things
d10.
I wanted to.
Tell me what you get.
I wanted to hear the story. I got a 6.
I also got a 6.
5. Oh, sorry, 9.
We got Tangle the Beast over this bitch.
A 3-6.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, hello.
Are you done?
Oh well.
Yeah. Now it's
Can we do some
We
time.
are.
Are we discouraging table time?
No. I mean, yes, please. Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Yep.
8.
So close.
Yeah, if you were gonna sit on my shoulder, that's
What
fine.
did you get, Sally?
6.
Guess what?
What?
Make me
Poconos.
a Dex plus Athletics roll, the two of you.
Us?
Yes.
Difficulty?
Difficulty 2. Okay.
Oh, good. It wasn't that much of a bump.
I'm a lady.
You know, right?
I'm disgraceful and everything. I do.
Difficulty 2.
Yes.
3 successes.
All right. So you don't land on your asses in the dirt as your cart goes gunk.
Chloe does.
Yes, because you push her forcibly off.
You push her as a brace.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's all like, it's falling to the
She waited to see if she managed to hold on, and then after that,
No.
You hear, fuck. Yeah, like a beat after the fuck. Oh, meow. As she clambers back up.
3 seconds. Am I on my feet or am I on the ground?
No, you guys, you feel
we
the
just
thump,
don't.
and yeah. That's good. That's why it was a low difficulty.
Do we hear a noise?
Yeah, well, yeah, you hear the crunching of whatever it was that broke your wheel.
Is there a
as
scream,
the cart
a
goes?
squeal?
No
Okay.
sounds of humans.
No, not that kind of
of
crunch.
any sort of creature.
Okay.
yes.
That's what I wanna
Down
see.
wheel axle.
And
Yeah,
you hear
that's
ho 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 as all the other carts come to a stop.
As soon as it stops, I jump down and just run around for a bit. I feel like I need to run it off.
Stretch my legs.
Yeah, the guy who was with next to you is like, oh thank God.
Oh my god.
Take a breather, son.
I don't want to hear Twinkle Twinkle Little Star another time. So yeah, so there's a small flurry of activity as a few people come over to the wagon and brace it and start to push it up and they ask Bertram and Chloe and whoever else wants to give a hand to pull stuff out so it's easy to get the cart up,
Able to.
get the wagon out, get the wheel back on,
Sneers at Chloe like, why didn't you get up faster?
And she's like, I'm sorry, mistress. I came as soon as I could after falling on my ass in the dirt. Because
I'm sorry, what was that?
Out of that. I'm so happy that you weren't injured.
Why, thank you. Continue.
I don't know what I would do if you were to be. Got John again.
That's awesome.
Do any of you wish to assist in order to expedite this process?
I will assist.
All right, roll me a.
I am assisting. Bertram's over there.
That's right.
I have a little working
I'm
song.
ahead of front.
I feel like I'm helping because Axe Dad is helping.
That's right. Yeah,
Phil
go for. Give me a. How are you? How do you choose to assist there, Abe?
I'm an
I'll
anti
help lift because I've got potent.
All right. So yeah, go ahead and maybe a strength plus athletics to just be like, I got this, and just hold the cart.
I have a surprising amount of athletics, actually. But
Well, yeah, because you're an acrobat.
That's right.
So,
What's the difficulty?
Give me an 8.
8.
It's a wagon. 3. Nice.
wow.
Automatically
Oh
hit
man,
one,
but
so-
there's like 3.
Do you
Tens
reach
and
up to the axle
2
and then
ones.
dangle off it and go wee? Is that what that is?
You just spin.
Oh, and another one, so I totally evened out. Aww.
So not
Yeah. So yeah, she goes wee on the axle, but she
Yep.
weighs $1.50. So you're like,
Yeah.
it's not hurting, but it's not helping.
I fear she's just like spinning like around the axle.
She was trying to lift
Yeah,
as you then lifted.
Yeah, you're like braced, but the edge of the axle where the wheel goes on is just spinning. She's like,
Snarf.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they manage to get the wheel on there. They tap it in, and they get it cracked on there with the cap, and they're like, and dunk, and it's back on its feet. And so everyone piles back in. Chloe and Bertram, Fridge, and
Did we see what actually we ran? Oh,
there's a big ass pothole.
Oh, just a hole. Okay.
Like
All right.
Yeah.
like the first few wagons, it didn't really manifest, but after the rains, there was a nice big hole after that fourth wagon,
I
and
feel like I tried
Okay,
to look
cracked
in the
into
hole
it.
at some
Yeah.
point, but there's nothing. It's just
yeah,
dirt.
it was perfectly mundane. And so like a bunch of the other crew came over and
fill that in.
infilled it, and yeah, and so they're like, well, let's see if that second wheel makes it over, and it does just fine. So they're like, all right, that's good. Hello, and continue on. You only get another hour or so travel more before the moon has dipped quite a bit, and so everyone is. You see Hickory and a couple of the other guys on horses sort of head up and off from the rest of the train. I return a few minutes later, and the train makes its way off the path and circles up. And he walks around the crew going, all right, we're camping here for the day. We're not moving by day with this crew, so let's. Tonight we have refreshments for those who need them tomorrow, but I recommend taking it easy, as it were, until we get a little closer to our destination. Sleep well, so everyone gets sort of situated for the day to come.
So like, what did these wagons have, like blackout windows or something?
No, that's what the cart.
Okay.
That's what the
Got it.
That's what the boxes are for. Is basically to give yourself. There's actually latches inside with like a posting, so that you know you're the one who's locked yourself in. Someone would have to pry it open literally with crowbars to get into it. Because
It's good.
little insurance.
Again, you don't know real camping until you had to dig a hole a couple times to hide yourself.
Do any of you stay up a little late, or yeah? Those of you who notice, Hickory actually stakes his horse at the edge of the circle, and then steps out a few yards and just sort of like stretches it out, and like lays down on the ground, and then just drips into the earth.
No, that's right. I gotta talk about it. Me and him got a chat. That's
Yeah,
Oh, he's
Yeah.
sleeping in the woods.
yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's right.
Ah.
That's right.
And
Years later.
That's weird.
any of you
Right.
standing next to let's see, who's the one? Who was it? Yeah, next to Aloysius. He's like, that never is not weird.
It's handy though.
Frederick is not usually intensely jealous, but he is currently intensely jealous.
Bertram, dig me a hole. I will not swim in it, but I want to know I
Right. Master, I'm trying to go for effect.
I don't actually have powers. I just have a servant.
So he wears
Using
like
domination
the black,
on somebody.
He wears
Frederick.
the black ninja
You're just a
costume
rich
and
guy.
just does everything
Yeah,
behind
right.
I mean, if you wanted to drip into the earth, he could probably shove you into it.
No.
fairly-
It's okay.
All right.
Laser?
All
Yeah,
right,
she's
pull
right down
over.
here.
Okay.
Right there.
I just have to check every few minutes because I'm all like, where the fuck's she at now?
She's right here.
Okay, that's fine.
Let me guess. You tell me a story about being in the wild somewhere.
Well, no, like
Girl's just like,
I'll
oh,
tell you
it's like
folk tales.
For those of you who
Vader.
take medication at night,
About
Yes,
It's
it is.
that
It
time.
is that
Yeah.
time indeed.
I already did.
everything.
Can I have some of this?
yes.
Actually, thank you. You could do me a favor
I actually
and go get me one Zyrtec and one Sudafed.
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
I tell you the story of the woodsmen who made a pact with the devil
Did you feed her?
to go back to their families
No, I
over
thought
the
you-
holidays in a flying
No
canoe.
wonder she's upset.
Hello.
Thank you.
So I ask all the fun questions like, why is it flying?
Yep.
I've never seen a devil
That's fine.
She's
before.
underneath my chair. She was a second ago.
She's fine. She'll
Yeah,
figure it
she's
out.
still there.
On,
Is it a devil or the devil?
but yes, they made that pact, and then on condition that they would miss midnight mass because can't do that. And then the guys are like, "Ha, we fucked over that devil, right?" So they go to midnight mass anyways. They get to spend time with their wives, but then on the way back, when they get back into their flying canoe, it plummets from the skies. These guys were never found again.
They didn't follow the rules.
That's right. That's a real story. By the way. They come from a fucked up place.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
All right.
That's okay. My dad just does stories about nuns and priests getting pregnant from fucking candles.
Yeah. And priests.
Literally.
The
And found object coming from the priest's butt.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
what's it called? Dusk falls, and you awaken. I'm sorry. Lose a blood, gain a will.
I'm doing reasonably all right.
Well, I have to spend 2 points every time.
Oh yeah, so that you don't.
So that I don't start being consumptive in front of
And
everybody.
all the other
I need to
people
go
around start
focus on
getting.
which one I am.
Well, not us, but the
Well,
humans.
They still might not get it.
I mean, true.
Some of you notice the smell of a
Just gully. I tried.
of a recently cooled campfire.
I just like
and the
Yep.
the traces of a camp
There's a
meal
beer in Canada.
being cleaned up.
Nice.
The real
Um,
bottle has a gold devil.
Hickory's not around as far as you can tell, but his horse is still staked where he left it, sort of grazing next to one of the
He just
mules.
hasn't surfaced yet.
Yeah, and let's see here. Ophelia comes over and sort of is like, Hickory wanted me to make sure that you were fed if you need that. If anyone needs that.
I call dibs.
It is very kind of you, but no thank you.
We're
Ophelia.
basically out. Is it open country or is it more wooded?
It's open country.
It's open country.
It's
Okay.
fields and fields.
Okay. So there's no
Definitely.
actual hunting to be had.
Well, there's a lot of ground squirrel. There's hare. There's there's a good
Can't be tracking
ecosystem.
on bison or something.
We're in Missouri,
Oh,
so
okay.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try.
We're not far enough west for bison.
Might get some
We're
elk.
not in woods, so
I mean,
think
yeah, you're in Arkansas more now, but Arkansas, Kansas.
Thank you.
Oh no, yeah, no, sorry, yes, no, you're right. Illinois, Missouri, Kansas. So yeah, in Missouri. But yeah, no, but there are other creatures if you're looking to hunt.
Nah, I'll take a nip off a birch and it'll be fine.
Recycling. All right. So if you're like dibs, she's like, all right then, and she goes, Alice, get over here. And one of the gals who's one of the humans comes over and she's like, I'm one of the donors on the trip.
No, it's very kind of you. Thanks.
I don't mind.
Didn't like the word donor.
And so, so yeah, she.
I'm gonna warn you ahead of time. This is gonna be different.
Oh, hello.
She's like,
I don't
Country's
understand.
weird and
Oh no, I
different.
know. I was just like,
yeah, she's like, oh, I've been with some stranger types, so I
Okay, if
I
you
mean,
say so.
if you want to
Stab!
So Rage basically punches her in the neck.
she squawks audibly like yeah yeah
Don't make my
and like even Ophelia's like oh
oh god, oh,
But yeah, she gets in there.
Oh, that's the thing.
yeah and like Ophelia
You
like,
put a
like
spigot on
Alice
that, or how's that?
is like goes from what would have been a scream to just ha 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 ha, ha. And like Ophelia's like usually that's like a seduction thing and okay yeah no that was different that was
Promised. As promised.
I'm very hungry. I don't have time to be nuanced. Currently.
Bill's
Can-
stuff is a
can-
piece of rawhide.
I feel like
Can
I
I
wake
sing a
up
song
being
to
like,
calm Alice?
Huh?
Being
I'm sure she would appreciate it. So if you
distraught.
start
Oh,
Yeah, so
plucking
because
out a couple
as
bars.
as completely
What?
startled as
You
watching
look
someone
like
stab
hard
someone in the
gas.
neck. Like that.
no.
Like I'm mean to my human, but she just fucking deserves that shit. Oh my god. So I yeah, no, I know, but it scared Alice. So like, oh no. So she sings a soft song to calm Alice.
while she's trying to calm Alice down, I just very casually pull out my neck straw and just kind of just poke it right in the side of Bertram and just.
He starts giggling.
From afar.
The next straw
Oh,
is
he also makes breathing noises, but
Yeah.
like Alice, but totally it's these. Thank you.
What are these?
Those are the music.
Yes.
Oh.
The next
I
one.
always know when they're Mucinex because they're like giant donkeys.
I mean, that's kind of accurate.
Yeah.
I have to
I
tell
like
you
it.
something, Zach. They put Gromit down.
Yeah, we knew that was going
Yeah, but like he sent messages today.
Gromit was a very good boy.
Aww.
is
How old was
very-
Gromit?
Oh, he was good. He was a good old boy.
No.
He was at least like 14 or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
or,
that's
like,
For a full size dog.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
one of the big poodle
Wow.
Oh, like
dogs.
the standard poodle?
Yeah, no, he was a big dog.
So one of our founders will not be at work for a day or two.
Aw.
Yeah.
Aww.
So, you know, I was actually wondering about that. Like, when are we going to put Bella up? And are they going to put little black wreaths on each of the pets'
That are
pictures that are no longer-
No, he took down Moon. Like, he just took the photo down.
Oh.
That was how. So his boss had to put down a cat recently, and we have a pet wall. So they had just, I think, like the pet wall came up after catnip, so I was kind of really glad because I didn't have to like be like, oh no, that photo come down. So his boss took down his pet's photo after she passed. I don't know whether or not they're gonna leave them up or not, or what the deal is, or whether or not Tony's gonna like put a little like memorial wreath or something on there. I don't know.
Also, a lot of the employee pictures are missing, and I'm like, we didn't downsize. What happened?
They have to reshuffle because people move departments. Like Andy's no longer in marketing.
Yeah, because that was a great idea. It's cute to have them all color coded by. Anyway, yeah.
We love where we work.
I appreciate
So
I appreciate some of it. Yeah. So yeah, no, it's obvious that that you've rearranged some of the flesh on Bertram. That this is not disturbing for him.
No, it's got he's got like a port, you know. So it's just it's there. So you know it makes things easy.
He's got like a dialysis port.
Yeah. While you're
But it just makes this so much simpler.
He's got a little
And
cone.
He's happy most of the time. And
so yeah, while you're over
So
there,
much fun.
while you're over
I
there
love
giving
how much
Alice
you're
a
swimming out your wife.
peak
like,
and valley
you're doing
experience,
is
I love you.
pretty entertaining.
Says the girl who punched another woman in the neck with a
That's
spike
not
ring.
as gross.
So-
Not
so-
nearly as gross. I've seen what those ports and people look like. It's nasty.
it's true. I know.
No, yeah.
Like there's
That
like
uncle's is particularly weird.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
just in his arms, on his neck.
That's where mine was.
Yeah.
Were on my arms, but the other one is like they
Yeah.
cut right here. They put the one right here.
Yeah.
I think of it more like a Harkin and heart plug kind of thing.
Did you need
Still
to feed?
gross.
Yeah, I mean it's still gross, but yeah.
Or are you good for this one? All right,
Okay.
cool. So yeah, so a bit of that happens, and a few of the other humans around are like, oh, okay.
Has Alice's hands like, it's okay, dear.
Oh, thank you.
And she's like,
Calming.
Hello.
no, come here.
I just felt claws on my leg, and I was like, oh, hey. This
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's new.
She was like hopping up here. Like, I totally would have let you hop up in my lap, cat.
And she
doesn't.
Yeah,
she's
so
not
that-
used to doing it
so,
yet, so she's still confused.
you know that you can safely take 3.
Wait.
Oh, hi.
Where is she? Is she on you?
She was on my thigh, and then was like, no, and then got down,
Oh.
which is why I was just startled.
Can't.
That's what she did to him.
Yeah.
too.
Except that she was like,
I feel like it's like Goldilocks. Of
Yeah,
life.
she's like trying to find the right chair. So that's where you off a bit.
Everyone who's gonna have breakfast had breakfast.
Yeah.
After she feeds, she like puts her hand on her cheek and like turns her on. It's like, thank you very much.
I think you can still do the lick thing,
Yeah. No, I can.
Yeah. but yeah,
Then
yeah,
she
you
makes her
did.
be like, thank you very much.
You're like, you're welcome. No,
I'm sorry. It's a little weird the first time.
I kind of like the normal way, which is why I donate. But no, now I know.
And no one
I'll
sat
be
with that one.
gentle on this.
Yeah, no, probably on the way back. We need to. So
Yeah.
the next, yeah, and like a few of the other humans who've come along are like,
Not that one.
I kind of just lean over and said, you know, Bertram does not mind being stabbed.
I don't want none of that.
I don't know where that's been.
I'm just
Really?
Worse, I know where it's
Have to put on
been.
gear first.
I see that.
No.
See, y'all laughed at
Safety
me
first.
when I put on my jacket when we were introducing it. But now, yeah. All right. Anyway, so you all pile into the wagons once more.
Mhm.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Hickory finally, in the middle of the screaming, in the middle of the hyperventilating of joy and of pain and then joy, Hickory comes crawling out, dusting himself out, and sort of comes back over and pats the horse and perception plus alertness 6. Whoever cares, it's not important. It's flavor.
Hey, flavors. Sorry, I already lost what the.
6.
Okay. I got 1.
Stop. Stop.
3.
Got 2.
1, Hickory's feeding his horse. 2, Hickory's feeding his horse from his hand. 3, Hickory's horse is biting into his hand
Oh, there
and
it
drinking
is.
blood.
Horse.
Oh, horse.
Yeah. We should
Well,
do
she's
that with
just
one of
cleaning
the
her
oxen.
hands now. I think she was literally just cleaning herself.
No, she was licking the collar.
Like, I'll.
She's trying to.
No.
She's like, I'm gonna eat it.
Uh,
Ah.
they're very different babies.
Yes, they are.
And so, you guys, again, onto that trail.
I am much quieter this time.
Yeah.
A little too quiet.
The clouds are much higher, much thinner. Stars Moon ruts grass.
You doing all
Chloe's got
right?
her hands full of wool and just knitting away.
I shouldn't be dressed like this.
How should you be dressed?
I need to be more proper.
I don't know what that means.
Let's do like card tricks for the guys who's
I don't know what that means.
driving the wagon.
But
You're
who
asking the
wants
wrong
me
guy.
to fit in?
Well, you should.
This isn't fitting in. I don't even. You.
How did I get
Do I know
The guy
their
who's in the
faces?
wagon with you,
I'm-
he manages
I'm
to pull it out
sorry.
of your
I
sleeve
get
it.
every
I
time.
get that a lot.
No, I think. No, we didn't met
He's
you
like-
before, but
With him?
You could be
I
better.
know.
I think the others have met you already.
It's the power and the nose
You
and
can
like
be
the teeth too. And it's just like pointing out.
Now she's like
Fine.
self-conscious.
Fine.
Yeah, I think you fast enough.
Yeah, I don't think your mom is anywhere around here.
Tries it again.
Frederick is staring
There you
intently
go.
at you,
There you
A,
go.
trying to
I mean,
figure out exactly how he can get that eyeball.
if you're asking about proper clothes, you're asking the wrong guy. So.
He wants to fix your face.
Just staring.
Oh, no,
Actually,
I'm used
I
to
didn't
it.
say that in character, but yeah.
He's used to it.
Yeah, it's fine.
No. It's the eyebrows that looks like it's too far up. I could just move that down for you a little if you.
No, they're okay.
See, but
They like where they are.
but
Yeah.
They're happy
all
where
good.
they are.
But
They don't
it's,
like each other, so it's good to keep them separated.
I mean, if you'd like, I could make your nose like even longer. Perhaps.
I don't like cities anyway, so that's a good excuse, right? You just hang out in the wild for a long time. Yeah.
You know, I feel like you could either
Hey,
go
Freddie,
more
he
or
interested.
less.
I think I'm fine.
You all hear
I mean, I'm
the-
not fine, but
the
you know.
whooshing, steady drone of a
I'm too brown.
water of a water feature
Oh,
rushing
no.
along, and a few of you, yeah, you do. A few of you smell the telltale signs of greener,
That's my hair.
of greener plants, damp earth, and running water. And after another hour or so, you
There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was. Sorry.
yeah,
Have we reached the Ohio or is it thing? Or tributary?
it's a small. Oh, she's gonna open all the tabs.
That's right.
It's actually a smaller one, unmarked.
It's like, why didn't you give me more?
But yes,
No.
Oh.
I see.
after a few
Told
hours,
you.
you all
All
see
the food.
the slight dip in the geography with a
Stabbing my neck.
She's like, but there's food.
with a river running
Right.
down
Okay.
the middle of it,
Nope.
Oh, are we fording? Fuck this.
Nope.
and
We're gonna die. There's gonna be snakes.
No.
and
Guns and
it's
doves. Your fault. I
That's
watched
right.
that.
That's right.
it's steady. It's decently deep, and it's running at a good clip.
Nope.
You can tell that the banks are a little overflown from the rains recently, and so Hickory comes around, and he's talking to a lot of you about, and he's talking to some of his crew about the best way to attack this. You know, he's like, it should be fine. You know, it's not.
I feel like the survivalist who wrote some.
It's a little wider than we'd anticipated, a little deeper than we'd anticipated. Because usually you can just ride and roll right through, but we might want to make sure that either the hulls are cocked or we. You want to pass me that pizza?
No, we're just really
The
care.
source of temptation.
Actually, I do want another slice though. Because the chips aren't down here, so.
Do you want chips?
No, that's cool. I'm just gonna have
For
this
now?
little tiny slice. Hey, mine. I'm gonna tell you what I tell the dogs at work. I don't share.
She's
So
like, but you're my dad.
Yeah,
That face.
yeah. Dads are
That
mean.
face.
Deal with it.
How do you usually ford these?
So all I had to do was say, ask your mother.
Oh, thanks.
There's a lot of cat fur on my face right now.
She's like, wait, where's he taking me?
Sorry, cat.
Mhm.
Oh.
No, I won't trust you anymore.
I thought we were friends.
How could you?
Does anyone have any input, thoughts, or emotions on the fording of the river and how to approach it?
What's your
Apparently
usual
I have no
setup when you
emotions about
ford
it.
these?
I've never
What's
come
your
across
usual
this.
setup when you ford these?
Well, he was just saying that they hadn't anticipated it to be quite this deep or wide. That they would have just rode or rolled right through it. But it is about a foot higher than they've anticipated at its deepest point. And so they're sort of chit-chatting about whether or not to just go for it, or whether they should move all the supplies a little higher in each of the wagons, tar up the sides, that sort of thing.
At the very least, I'd move everything up.
This is not my expertise.
Water getting some of these going to be.
Bill's never crossed a river in wagon. He's only been in boats.
At least the supplies and the gunpowder and all that
Oh,
crap
yeah,
that needs to
gunpowder.
not get wet.
And my dirt.
So,
My
Can't
jars-
be damp.
My jars of dirt.
Is
Oh,
this
they get
river
damp.
like going too fast
Can't be
to
mud.
swim it?
You just don't want them
Could
to
be.
wash
Just
away.
needs to be-
If you try and swim against it to get up to get across it, it's going to take a lot of energy, and you guys probably wouldn't have any problems with it. But you know, getting the wagons across, getting the animals across, getting the humans across,
Right.
like
Yeah.
Hickory has outlined that at the very least they're going to stake ropes to each end,
Yeah.
to help guide.
They have to.
Yeah, like that's necessary at this point.
Is this the only point we can cross the river?
This is the shallowest point of it, which is why it's right in the middle of the trail.
That's fair.
I really don't have anything that would directly help.
How feasible would it be to ford the perishable stuff separately?
They consider it, and they're like, well, yeah, if we put it on each of our backs, and carry it over in a few shifts, that'd take the rest of the night. We could probably camp on the other side, and then they actually like that idea. That'll give the day for everything to dry out that isn't perishable. And
I think we can just break camp on the other side. I'll do a stand in the middle. We'll do a little chain. Pass it across.
You see the whiskers of Hickory tick up just a little bit.
I think no one has that flaw with the water and stuff.
He thought he did for a hot moment.
I
I was
almost,
like, "Oh, this
I
is gonna be
almost took it,
fun."
but then
Oh,
wait,
good thing
no,
you
no,
did.
Oh god.
He
I
would
still don't
have.
like garlic or silver,
I
but
was about to
whatever.
say you couldn't have gotten to the city if you had that flaw. So,
Yeah.
well,
Well, Amaris figured out how to cross.
that was because there was a plane involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
She figured it out.
And then we tried to and then we tried to test it several times. So that was fun.
Thought you get your bike
She's fine.
Molotov cocktailed.
So the rope is staked out across. Several ropes are staked out across the river. Packs and boxes and bags of various foodstuffs are carted along by hand. The animals are effectively dragged through the water across, and the train itself is somewhat reassembled on the other side of the river, a few yards out. And you guys set up for the day.
Wait, we actually made it across and then one died?
Yeah, no, that was a solid.
Okay.
It was a solid
So
situation.
we took
and-
20 and
yeah,
okay.
but that's why you lose time.
We'll
on
lose
it.
the night because we played it safe.
Okay.
And so the next day breaks, or the next dusk
Then
falls.
we all
So you get another willpower, and you lose a bullet point. as per waking up.
Yeah. Okay.
And by now you know that Ophelia is sort of the late day to early night watch lead of the crew. So if you have hunger needs, to talk to her, and she'll talk to the other humans to find out who's the next in line for donations. But if there's no other work on that, you will pack up again and keep trekking along.
Okay.
So this has been
Day
third
two.
night. Yeah, third night out. Trail, pure boredom.
Still writing letters.
Still reading.
Well, okay. I'm
How are you
neither
sending them?
I'm not sending
excitable
them, I'm
nor
writing them.
crying. I'm just
She's got a little
here.
a box that she's every day she writes one. She puts it in the
listless.
box.
Another day comes in. You camp it out. Awake again. On
Really?
yeah.
I mean,
Night 4.
This is a trail. It's a trek.
does finally flag down Ophelia. I am feeling a bit peckish.
Yeah, night 4 I'm probably gonna do the same
Yeah.
because I haven't had anything.
I waited out.
And I gotta be fucking desperate to drink from that bitch. So
A Ronald and a David
Hey,
are
Ronald.
not a Ron old, but
Hey,
someone
hey,
named
Ron.
Ronald and a David, A David, and so
Hey, Ron.
Dave Ron,
Ron.
done, Dave. So David and Ronald are brought over,
uncomfortable.
and
I don't mean to be rude. But is there a possible lady?
I think you probably would have ended up with Ronald, and he goes, "Oh yeah, hold on, yeah," and he goes over to
I'm
Alice,
a married woman.
and so Alice is like, "Oh yeah, no, yeah," and
They're called dibs.
oh, were you hungry again?
Oh, apparently this is now her person to drink from.
Well, yeah, no one else wants to get punched in the neck. They watched it happen. The only person who's gonna let
Are you
me.
feeding again?
I should soon, but I won't.
So
Okay.
I
Fine, you can have
look at the
David.
leaders.
Oh,
Dave,
Alice.
or whoever,
Sorry.
who was
Ophelia?
the leader.
Ophelia's the head ghoul.
And
at this time.
I look at Ophelia and I was like, well, so about
Everybody's got problems
That girl.
with me.
I don't either, actually.
Should be like,
I just have,
why-
like,
is there
a
anyone here
ridiculously
who,
huge blood pool, so I'm
you
just
know,
like, whatevs.
is okay with
just
having an open wound?
We don't want.
I also feel like I'm, like,
those.
internally trying to figure out my situation.
do you have trouble closing? Oh, I'll help you, dear. It's fine.
Is it just trouble closing, or what else is it?
Does she have the poison bite like I had?
It
Amaris?
just says infectious.
She has.
Oh yeah, she has the poison bite like I had.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a percentage
Okay.
that she. So I think it's the thing where she doesn't have the enzymes to close it,
Okay.
and so it leaves an open wound, which gives a percentage to.
I don't remember exactly.
I imagine if somebody else closes the wound for her.
Yeah.
I like how the someone else is, I mean. I don't know if I want that, but
Uh,
Are you
The
looking
bite is the part that makes them excited. It's the closing that I don't like.
Yeah.
Can't excite another man. That's just not right.
You have to mention your letters.
I would. I have to tell him.
Today I bit another man.
And then she'd spend the
Why?
rest of the evening just being like, oh! In the back of her wagon. Oh!
oh man. Crown bloody tears.
Yeah.
Oh.
My whole life,
Right.
I've wronged my husband.
is
He
it
must know.
It's
His
not
cheeks
disease
got
carrier, is it?
flushed.
It
No,
just
that's
says
me.
it's-
I'm
yeah,
a
it's
disease carrier.
infectious bite. What it's called.
What do you
That's
eat?
what Amara said.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
So which one is it?
It's infectious bite, and yeah, 1 in 5. Yeah, because you can't lick the wound closed. 1 in 5 chance of becoming infected.
Okay, but if she can lick it closed, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So I guess I will partake of this.
If we're camping for the night, or is it we just started on the?
Oh,
We just woke up.
You did 2 of them.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
No, I'm. As we're going down the trails, I am listening intently for. I haven't had a hunting dog, so I'm listening out for dogs,
Howling,
will-
yip,
yeah,
yip.
howling, something like that.
So if we
that I can
drink a
that I
potion, we
can
regain
try
one point
to
that?
try to
Okay.
get myself
There's a
proper.
certain amount you
Yeah,
can.
he'll let us know.
I do know that red. I
There's
do
certain
know from
amount you
research
can
that red
regain.
wolves
Okay.
existed in
Well,
that
it's still
area of the
quote
country,
unquote
at
safe.
least at the time.
Yeah.
So far, sadly, you hear the yips of the prairie dogs, and those aren't good for hunting with.
No.
So, apparently, Alice was the only lady.
Oh,
But Ophelia offers if
Okay.
Bill is now played by Bella.
Yeah, we have a new plan.
Oh dear.
oh yeah, look at those eyes. It's like, where's the snacks?
If only.
Wow.
Bella.
Not even hiding it.
Because she can make all the black shirts she wants now.
rude.
Wow.
Rude. How many points do I regain? You said it's a 5th night?
Yeah, you can take 3 off of David without hurting him. 5 if you want to put him down for a couple days.
Well, I can't take anything off of David because she's not going to lick him close.
I said I would seal the deal, but I won't excite him myself.
Okay. Okay.
The biting's the fun part.
Yeah.
Okay.
The licking.
Never mind.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that's yeah. I mean, if
Alright.
if it excites otherwise, that's
So how
that's
many
on
do I
them.
get back?
Well, that's up to
It's
you.
left
You
to the
can take 3,
individual.
and it'll be just low blood sugar for the rest of the night.
Uh-huh.
For the rest of the night.
Uh-huh.
Or you can take 5 and he'll need to sleep it off for the next day or 2.
I'll just take 3.
I pretty regularly just refill my 1 blood point with Bertram. If he's generally all right with the
And
restoring 1 blood. I don't know how long it takes for a human to restore 1
your
blood.
fleshy Capri Sun.
Well, he keeps eating and
That's very
Yeah.
drinking
different.
and
Even has the next
So-
straw.
I know.
he regenerates, fairly decently. So it's
I don't know
it's a
actually-
good recyclable system.
The intent is
I
that
know,
he is
right?
in fact
Yeah,
a
but
ghoul. I
big
just don't
rubs.
know.
Whenever Tony
mechanically
has a
how
bad
that
day, I'm
actually
like, well, you
works.
tell me about it. Why don't you pet the cat at the
So,
same time?
I
It
think
kind of
I actually have to work on that
Yeah.
somewhere.
I think he's like net
That's-
losing 1 every few days or whatever, but
Okay.
nothing
Well,
that's
At some point, whenever he starts looking real weak, or if he starts being a little more French as opposed to French, then I'm gonna.
when he loses a few E's, yeah. It's like- but yeah, Ophelia offers herself if you don't mind feeding off of the ghoul of Hickory, because
Oh no, that's his.
That-
I'll just take a small bit.
Yeah.
From Alice.
Oh, there she goes again. There
Hey.
she goes again.
okay, yeah. Yeah.
Just this. She goes for 2 points. Just something small.
All right, yeah.
And yes, no, that's Hickory's.
Did you finally give up because she couldn't get on the table?
Yeah. She was like, "Well, I'm getting pets, but that's not what I want."
And he's as soothing and gentle as possible and everything. And
That was a stopgap.
there we are. And
You just hear French. Thunk.
Okay.
There
I have a question-ish, or a thing I want to
You know what it is?
While they are not in their wagon, I go in there.
Oh, you
but
see
I
a
could
woman
see-
in a
I-
French maid costume, and she goes, "What are you doing?"
I
Yeah,
just
I know.
really
Come on.
need a mirror. I don't have one, and my hair must look dreadful.
Come on.
And I must.
Come on.
I need some powder.
Come on.
Do you have these things?
All the way up. All the way up. Of course you have all of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
I
you
Raised by a
ask?
cat for a little bit.
You're gonna
My
kill
mistress.
that maid. She's gonna have an aneurysm.
So yeah, no, she's like, did you ask? My mistress.
I say yes, but I'm lying. So.
Oh!
Deception plus subterfuge.
Oh, here's one. It's yours.
You mean manipulation?
Do you want to care if I open this wine?
5. No, go for it.
5. I say yes.
She goes,
French. You're
oh,
gonna get that maid.
okay,
murdered.
yeah, all right, yeah. And she like pulls out the
She's
small,
gonna
the
get
small
fucking
travel
killed.
mirror. She pulls the cloth off of it. She pulls out the little kit that has the powders and.
So like almost immediately can tell I have no idea what to do with this stuff, but I try to make it look like I do.
She's like, Miss, would you like some assistance? Would you like some help?
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind, that would be
Chloe is
wonderful.
Oh, that would be my pleasure. Because you're dipping into shit, and she's like,
I totally double dip like one
like,
thing and
oh,
another
yeah.
thing somewhere.
she's like, I would love to make sure you don't mess it up. And so yeah, she's
Okay, so I get on a stool and I sit. I try to look like very ladylike in my pants and everything.
and she like does the bare minimum. She's like, she's like, how's that?
Wait, no, stop.
That looks good. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
You really got into your stuff for though, right?
Yeah.
It's like, anything else? Let me know.
Sure. Thank you.
Bye.
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 There's like awkward on both sides.
Bye. Clack, clack, clonk, clack, clonk, clonk.
Fix.
Yeah.
Shit.
She hadn't had dinner. That's why she was going for the pizza and was like, get me on the table. And I
Oh, yeah,
was
so
all
you're
like,
like-
there's dinner up there, go.
Aw.
She was sitting in her seat for a while, just hungrily looking at the table, like,
Yeah.
where's the pizza? Super big saucer eyes.
So it was so cute and also.
The
She
part,
cracked open
the part
wine.
of Phil will not be playing Bella.
Right.
So that happens.
I can try to sneak it.
Hickory seems to take hits off of different ghouls every other night. Yeah, you guys pack up again, out on the
That's
trail.
very sneaky.
I look at him and then go, how many more days?
And he's like, well, next night we should hit about where we're at, and then we'll head north and head up the trail. So,
Alright.
Sorry.
Reaction injure you.
That was not comfortable.
Did we go back in? Do you figure it out?
Technically, Chloe's the one that deals with all of that.
Oh, so
But
I
she
wouldn't
knows
be,
if she sees it.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should she get it into her? Should she get it into her head?
She will get.
Okay.
If
to
she
inspect.
sees it.
Yeah.
This is good.
This was very good.
She's gonna get fucking drawn and quartered.
Pain and panic, man.
And then you all get to meet my ghost.
Your ex-husband has been eerily quiet this trip. Actually, I do want to move it. Oh,
I was actually going to turn to you at one point and be like, what I would give another spirit to talk to right now.
I will pet you.
I would like any other spirit other than the one that follows
I
me.
will give you a touch. Oh.
You gonna make a horse talk to a horse again?
Yes.
That was me that did that.
Hey, Tony, you're
Now it's someone
GMing.
else's turn.
It's a
Yeah.
Time.
it's a
It's tradition. Yeah. If there aren't two animals really awkwardly speaking to each other.
Yep.
We're trying to remember this 20-minute long message.
I tried to tried to find ways to get 2 horses in modern day San Francisco to talk to each other. But it was
I have animalism, so at some point or another, you're gonna have to give me a.
Oh, so do I.
Oh yeah, nice.
We're gonna talk to beasts.
Oh yeah, a couple of the nights have gone by.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
So new night again. Where is mine?
Well, we're camping right now. We go to bed yet?
Oh yeah, no, there's been another.
It's like
Another passage.
Yeah. So
All right.
lose a blood point, gain a blood power.
And now I'm gonna have to eat
Just like
Yeah,
yeah.
same.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
because I'm running out of
This time
Oh, wrong way.
I'm gonna have to eat too now.
You gotta eat.
All right, so
Is Ronald around?
Ronald is around. He
All
hasn't
right.
been tapped yet, so
You look like a good, strong gentleman. Come over here, son.
Come sit on Grandpa's lap.
Somehow.
No. There's not gonna be any sitting.
it's just 2 men in the in a field.
That's fine. That's all
One
good.
of them's going to be inside the other one, but just a tip.
Yeah.
They have to give a hearty handshake before that and slap each
3
other on the back a
claps.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No ceremony. Lean over, Ronald.
Oh dear.
Lean back, son.
You have to bite in between the neck and the shoulder, like right around here,
Yep.
because that's the only acceptable spot. Anywhere else might be considered
Too far up. Too far up. It's taboo.
Philippa is behind her fan, just peeking.
Who wants
All right.
to get punched in the neck? I'm hungry.
Greg comes over and he's like, looks like it might leave a scar.
Yes.
No,
Chicks scars.
I mean,
he's into it.
not if you don't want it to.
He's like, it happens.
Just saying.
I like you. What's your name?
Greg.
Greg.
Bread.
Greg?
Well, it rhymes
Is that
with
with
bread.
a G or with a D?
Well, most of you have been calling me Greg all week. So just sort of accepted it.
I
But,
thought it's because she was English.
but it's actually Greg.
As you're having this
Okay.
For
exchange,
Gaylord.
as you're having
I
this
like Greg
exchange,
better.
I like
Abe-
cake.
So,
Abe passes by, he's still
That's
wiping
what I
blood
think.
from his mouth. It's like, oh hey, Greg.
That's really bad.
Ow.
I feel like I should eat, but I feel like this personality is too polite
Really?
right now.
Whoa.
It's not desperate yet.
you ready?
He's like,
Brace
he
yourself.
like braces and he's like, all right, yeah, I'm ready. Ah! Oh, that is, yeah.
That's something right there.
Yeah.
That is a feeling.
Like it's all of the intensity of a tattoo. Like basically he's being branded at that
Yeah.
moment. And he's like, oh. And so yeah. And so like you finish up.
Stop
How many?
clenching, Greg.
3?
You're making
Yeah,
it worse.
yeah.
Stop clenching your neck. It's
You're
gonna hurt
making
you
it worse
more.
for yourself.
So afterwards, after the cleanup, he's like, all right, and like you see Kevin come over and pass him like some cash, and he's like,
That's right.
What do you use to stab them with?
It's a ring that has, I push a button and little blades pop out of it.
Oh, okay.
I drew a picture.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Just for such
It's a
occasion.
real thing that existed. I found a picture of it on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's
So you
it's just a
you
little
chased
ring.
down Greg for your cut.
Basically,
And
yeah.
he's like, what? You didn't have to get stabbed in the neck. Like this was.
I don't appreciate being set up like this.
He bet me I couldn't do it, and I did.
Wow. Is there anybody
That's kinda legit.
left?
You should.
You
You
kind
should
of respect the
appreciate that.
hustle.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Okay, fine. The
Next
next time, I get a piece of this.
He's like, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll do it again, but like,
we all gonna try it at least once.
And some-
We got do we got anybody else who's still untapped? Because that one got to eat too.
Oh no, I'm fine. I'm quite alright. Messed up makeup, smeared a bit.
What you got on your face?
So Philippa sees that and goes, "Oh dear, please come."
What? No. Oh.
And then goes to Chloe and
and she
hands,
goes, Mademoiselle,
You just-
madame.
She's just sweating bullets.
So she hands Chloe a vial because it's her time. She needs to feed.
I feel like when Pip was looking
Is
away,
there
I'm just like,
is there a ritual to it in it, or can she just knock it back?
And she just knocks it back.
Yeah, no. As soon as she does, she's like, "Ooh."
Look, I'm so good. I am so loyal to you.
Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong
This-
at all.
This poor petal is in need of help. Please.
Oh no, yes, miss. I'll do better this time. Yes, okay.
This time?
What?
Quoi?
We?
What you say?
Okay.
Mr. Hansi?
No, yes, no. It's yes.
She gets that calm smile that means I will kill you. Please help out our friend. We'll converse after. And then walks away.
I don't know how much help that maid's gonna be. I think all the blood just left her body.
Good thing she had that vial.
So Chloe goes for round 2.
right. Because I rolled the same personality 2 days in a row.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Chloe does it good.
All right.
Love it.
You're ready to hit the saloon hall,
So I start looking around.
but to
the
be
room-
disapproving, not as one of the girls.
Yeah. I look around the wagon
Chloe
going.
has permission this time, so.
Right.
I wish I had better
Chloe has
clothes.
permission
Oh,
and
no.
a reason.
I kind of like start like peeking at the closet.
Or at the
Or
trunk.
The trunk.
Oh, shit.
She's like,
Absolutely not. You need to leave.
Am I getting
Please
kicked
don't.
out? And or very nicely begged too.
no, well.
Abe actually will go and fetch you.
Wait, you're going in here?
Oh, yeah, and I'm just walking in there and just.
You'd be like, no.
No.
She's like,
Oh,
oh,
going back.
sorry, bye.
You're all ready now. Please leave.
Let me know if the mistress says so. Make sure the mistress says so. Bye.
Make sure my madam tells me
I
herself.
just there's so many things that I didn't think to bring with me because the other fools just don't know anything about good looks.
What is
That's fine. Look around.
Pretty decent.
Yes, I know. Why do you think I have to be concerned?
No, no,
I
all-
have
all-
that. So what goes along with survival?
Listen,
We go with the.
all these guys don't see anybody for
On this one.
Well, that's at
weeks.
least 3.
You look great.
Uh,
You look great.
Really?
Yeah,
This
you're
is
doing a great job.
There's a lot of good
Look
people
at
out
that.
there, but there's also a lot of
one
predators nearby.
Well, you get to reroll.
Go ahead and
these
reroll
zeros.
that zero.
That's nice.
Yeah, we do exploding zeros.
Okay, so 1 success.
Yeah, you
It's
managed
never
to
good enough for her.
to nail a jackrabbit.
Sorry.
Just by sheer dumb luck. And
I don't know.
like
Looks like you
Yeah,
doesn't know what she
Yeah,
has.
well, I'm not
oh
getting it for. Well, I mean, I'll
No.
You know she can be
but I'm
wrong,
mostly
right?
Getting it for materials.
oh yeah, no, there you go, yeah. So
She
one
can be,
jackrabbit.
but she also has some intelligence to this. After all, I can't be too brown and too poor looking. Otherwise, I'm going to have a terrible life.
Boy.
I think 20 minutes later, out of silence, there is a audible, and then silence.
Oh,
Are we the
Zuzu,
character? Are we
Zuzu.
traveling with
She's
us?
been around,
Okay.
but I don't think she would do that in front of you.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Okay.
However, you do notice a ghostly form on the
What are you doing
on the gate of that wagon,
Right now.
like
Yeah.
like
A
smoke.
spirit?
Yeah, like smoking a pipe
know.
gun.
You- that sound comes
As
in.
hard as I would have slapped her.
people who aren't any of you guys.
When that sound comes
I
in,
come
like
over.
it just
I
You
stare at
after-
him.
after a little while.
I was just
will
like,
visibly flinch.
"Huh."
Oh,
This
Jesus,
is
Mary
weird.
Joseph.
Often use this.
Does he stick around or does he just start
Uh-huh.
dissipating?
He sort of dissipates if no one engages with
I
him.
don't want
Okay.
to know.
My friends at that's a. Well,
I'm sure he's fucking not going to
he
engage with
just
him.
kind of like stumbles over his work. He hands you a small ring that is made of rabbit bones, And no. You see, it helps the neck hold will heal faster because it's.
I lick it closed. It heals fast.
Yes, but
I don't.
And you just kind of well, fine. I'll take it back then.
Not give it.
Now that you know that I don't want it, I will accept it.
I appreciate you thinking of my
I simply
however
appreciate.
unsolicited this gift may be.
I simply appreciate your unrestrained brutality when it comes
I
to
see
stabbing
you
people's
come
neck.
here on the eve of my feeding. And you bring me a gift. You're not gonna get anywhere in this game.
So
We're just sleeping a bunch in the woods.
the same night,
It's just sleeping in the woods. The
I
game.
mean, like,
one of
this
the
is stuff,
humans,
and I'm like
Jeremiah,
4 people,
sort of a
so.
young kid,
Yeah.
he comes up and he's like, "Did you need to feed some more?"
Is there money in this video?
I ain't gonna feed from nobody no more.
Oh gosh, this one society
He's
likes it?
He's like, "No."
Oh.
Yes. You guys. No. You think a stiff breeze would knock this kid over? Like,
Honey. Fine, we'll do this then. And she kind of looks at him for a second and she's like, it's okay. Everything's fine.
Oh dear.
Yeah, she turns her on. Normally that's what she does.
Oh yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah.
Click. Very gently, like,
Yeah. Tink. Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, that kid's never gonna be the same again.
and then,
Yeah. You can take up to 3.
and she's like, there. Everything's fine. Go along.
And he's like, "Hey," and he like wanders off,
And she says, how much does he get?
and you hear laughter. So you see Kevin giving money back to
Wow.
and so like this is laughing.
You see,
One of these days, you guys are gonna have to pay me. That's how this works.
So
did you see that kid's face? He'll come back home, but it won't be the son, mom, and
Yeah,
dad.
that's right.
I was gentle.
Yeah. You made him into a.
Something.
I don't know.
You made him into something.
Yeah.
Right?
Something happened over there.
So
You'll never forget
Frederick,
the image of the lady that poked him in the neck.
Jess Frederick comes over to you and to says, "It is customary in my court. It was that when we are working as a sort of units or whatever word you would use for it, that we have tokens of here." And he just hands you a quill pen made out of rabbit bone.
I think you detect that he's attempting to be proper.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
corn.
Yeah. I was. She going.
No, I know, but isn't that your weakness?
That's
Oh
me.
no.
She's on a tour.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Not true.
But you're here for this. Because he comes over to the both of you.
Oh, to the
Yeah.
both of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Yes.
So you
Yeah,
start
no,
to
I-
see this.
He has manners. That's
Yes.
my problem.
He hands you a quill pen made out of that, and to you he takes his and here you take this, and he just tosses you. It's a it is the closest facsimile to a makeup brush made of rabbit bone and fur.
Nice.
Whether or not that actually works properly,
Who knows?
That's another story entirely.
it doesn't really matter. But that's his intention.
Go ahead and make me
It's lovely.
It is
make me a will check.
only the
The straight will.
Yeah,
proper
just
thing to
your
do.
will score.
Okay.
Difficulty 8. And if you wish to,
I
wish
have
to
no-
burn a couple points,
I have no idea about this, so I look at. I show her the pill. Isn't this lovely?
It's actually
Difficulty
yes,
9.
It's like really.
as soon as she says lovely, hear like a linebacker from inside the cart like clamber out of it, and she's like there next to you, like ready for you to like fall. like she's ready for the vapors. Yeah.
As soon as Frederick has given you your 2 tokens, he just kind of stands up and clicks his heels and then walks and like immediately walks away.
Okay.
Yeah, and Chloe's like doing the if it falls, it will land in my hands. Like, ready.
And just out.
Yeah.
Do you
And
pass
swoon.
out?
I
Do you swoon?
I just totally like
She gets
swoon.
the vapor.
Yeah.
That's my deal.
I look at Chloe.
Proper manners.
I mean, we needed a
So
bigger
it was
At least he'll never have a problem around Bill.
Yeah.
Most of us on
Frederick
That's
also
her thing.
comes, he eventually
is
comes to you
manners.
guys, which I imagine you guys both
Don't
hanging
you
out
all have
together
you all
or
have a
something.
thing?
I don't know.
I haven't
But,
actually eaten, but I'm still not saying anything because I'm.
Like shit. Oh.
I look at her as like,
Abe is actually sitting on the back of the cart, like in his long johns and his boots, just cleaning his
I'm
gun.
not exactly skilled in
Nice
making
fish as
these
well.
kinds of implements, at least
and
not
smirk
for
and walk away.
hunting or for combat. But he pulls out a small.
You come to a few moments
knife
later,
made of bone.
propped up on the
rabbit bone. It's like
backboard
a
of it,
paring knife,
sort of
basically.
just sat there
This
nice properly,
is
and
not
Chloe's sitting there next
big,
to you,
but it's
sort of slouched,
fits you, I
sort of
think.
just waiting.
No,
It's
As
rabbit.
soon as she
It's
senses the
wrapped
stirring,
rabbit
she's
fur
like,
on the hand.
No, he actually just
Mad
looks
Dad.
at it.
Just
Sounds very nice.
Nice is maybe putting it too politely.
Does Chloe have
No,
it?
no,
Or
I'll
does
say-
it?
you still have it because
It's
it,
nice.
was in
We'll-
your
we'll
hand.
put it
and you-
away.
yeah,
That was
so,
it.
yeah.
You're a good man. You're a good man, Frederick.
Oh dear.
It's like-
He doesn't really know how to
and
take that.
she says that after
statement.
giving you the gift, he simply
You know, I don't
clicked his
thank you.
heels and walked
I
away.
don't
and
got
then,
anything, but
and then
I'll remember.
No.
that. I'll remember
It's
that.
it's
make
my
sure
court's
that you are okay,
custom.
and then
No,
left
that's-
you to.
And to you, he also
yourself
hands you a similar
as,
but slightly smaller knife
Okay.
because he doesn't particularly know. You
And
change
then-
your personality changes so often that he doesn't really know what you're into. So
But you know that I'm like.
he
I
just
kinda
know that when
sit
you guys
around,
got
act
a bunch
out.
of stuff from the silversmith that it was all knives.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now you have another small bone one.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
don't know what.
Please put this in my
Yes.
treasure box.
Yes, mademoiselle.
Please, you can madam. She's married.
Yes,
But
Right.
I
Madam.
appreciate it.
She clambers back up in there.
Of course, it is only customary, and he clicks his heels and then starts walking back.
You know, he's doing the stuffy old world gentleman, but he's all right.
Now he's also at that point he's gotten so flustered with having to actually be polite to people that he asks for Ophelia to bring him somebody to eat.
And she's like, do you have any food allergies or dietary restrictions?
No. I just
It's got to be made of stronger stuff.
Yes, I'll have trouble with that, and most nights of the week. So,
All right.
so I'm gonna let you take over.
All right.
And I'm gonna leave the door open for Bella to Bella about.
She might already be up there. She was
She
eyeballing the.
All right, guys.
Situation.
Good night.
Thank you very
Night. One of my New Year's resolutions was to try and get to bed at normal hours.
that's perfectly
So
fine.
I'm off to bed.
That's good.
Night.
Night, JC.
Yeah. What you call it? I think. Yeah, one of the guys from the earlier nights is still a bit sturdy, so he comes over and
You get up as early as they
let
do.
you take a hit off from there.
Sure
Yeah.
is.
So you can go ahead to 3 if you're being gentle, 5 if you don't mind him riding in a wagon for a couple nights.
Yeah, no, I'm a little flustered, so I'm just gonna take the 5 and just gonna have to
Yep.
deal with it. Chill.
He's gonna have to figure shit out.
So yeah, he gets to ride in the one wagon that doesn't have a vampire in it. And then so another day breaks, and after this night of camping, and the next night, as the wagons are circled up, Hickory's actually out and about as early as anyone else, and the horse isn't staked out. He's getting things ready, and he's like, you guys have already discussed previously that this was the night that you guys would head north. The wagon train itself would stay down here. Feel free to avail yourselves of refreshments as much as needed.
Sorry,
As-
before I
Because I
retire,
definitely do.
Lisa,
Yes, dear.
I went to go say hi to Sasha before I went up to bed. And she woke up. You know, normally she meows. Because she just woke up and came out. Meow.
That cute sound.
Oh, honey.
How do you get to full blood?
I don't know.
Which one is like if you like you all are drinking up tonight? What do I mark off?
Oh,
Are you marking?
Do I erase or do I X?
you erase.
Okay.
So we're all just like having as much as we
I found
need,
you.
or what?
Um,
Because I need a lot. But
Talk
like
enough.
right now, I'm like, I'm happy bouncy kid me. So
All right.
I basically demand to eat, and now.
so how many do you need?
And they probably
4?
don't care very much
Because I
too
want
much
to go
about
to small nets. So
stop-
You can do all 4.
Okay.
How many do you need?
I need a total of 7,
Mm,
but I don't know if I would actually take
Top
the
off.
7. But I also don't know if in this
you get the whole
persona
7.
I would
You
care.
get the whole 7.
How many do you need?
3.
3. You get 3.
Goodness, did I just like kill someone? Because isn't that all of
Yeah,
them?
between a couple.
There's a bunch of
You can
people.
So-
Spread it between a
so-
couple people.
A bunch of people are going to be laid out,
Okay.
and you find out that this is actually part of the plan. Is that they're going to be camped out here in this wagon train, and if people come by, they're going to have a bunch of people who are laid out sick, and then they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, no, keep away. They're resting up."
Ah,
It's all right,
nice,
yeah."
okay.
Ah,
Smart.
they'll find out.
Smart.
Yeah, and like apparently this is
Wicked
sort of
smart.
a shtick that crew does on occasion.
That's fair.
If I don't account for the 2 that I spend to be
To
awake,
wake up.
then I need 5. If I account for them, then I need 7.
Ooh, you can have 5 then.
Okay.
Yeah. How many did you need?
I only need 2 to top off.
Okay,
After
yeah.
the
Then
5
you
that I
get the
took
2.
from the previous one,
You get the 2.
I just I only get the 2.
Actually, yeah, no, you can get the other 2.
Okay.
We balance.
I can even take like 1 or 2 of them off of Bertram if I need to.
No, go ahead and top off. One of the, I think it was Kevin. Was your second night guy?
No, it was.
Oh, that was Ronald.
No, it was Greg.
That was Greg. Yeah,
Great.
Red.
Grand.
Greg. Yeah,
Get it
Greg.
And then it was Alice the first time, Greg the second time, and then
The
little boy Jeremiah
Yeah.
the third time.
So Greg let you finish off those other 2, because he's like, no, I'm staying behind. It's fine.
This will stick forever.
And no money's exchanged this time because they're all done losing money to each other.
Ain't nobody got no money left.
Yeah.
Everybody's got poke. So
So
that's to be had.
so you guys stock up, and he's like, it's not really riding country. But if you guys want horses, we can do horses. Because there are enough horses in camp to accommodate.
I want to ride a horse. Did you know my name means little horse?
I did not. Do you know how to ride one?
What do I need for that?
Right.
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 Wait, I don't have ride on the sheet.
Oh, because they're
Dry.
No, it would
yeah,
be
you can
drive.
use drive.
I actually don't, but I could probably what attribute would you use for it?
Oh, I believe Dex.
I mean, I've got
Real
Death
good.
and athletics.
Yeah.
So
Death. Dex.
I have no
Red
idea.
is
Of,
not death.
I have no idea of technique, but I can do
Probably
it.
fake it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, yeah, I've got enough horses for the main crew if we want to do that. But
I'm taking Bertram with me, and Bertram won't ride on a horse. So
no, yeah.
And
Can
we
you
both
ride on
won't-
Bertram?
We both. I mean,
I was like,
I kind of could.
Yeah,
I haven't turned him into a horse yet. So
Are you gonna make him a human tar or something? Or what do we call it, mantar?
I was just gonna joke
Like a
that
human
Chloe
with
was
another
gonna carry
human.
me, but I'm like, no, we'll walk.
I'll hoof it. If anybody else
Bill
wants to
doesn't
take a
need
horse,
Yeah. So yeah.
Aw.
let,
I mean,
let the ladies
I
have a
want
horse.
to take a horse, but I don't because Axe Dad didn't.
Yeah.
Aren't you? You're tiny, right?
Yeah, I'm like slender.
Well, no, I mean, like I thought you weren't you like a kid?
I'm like 14-ish.
She's
Okay.
very young.
Yeah.
You're like
She's about my
Bertram's-
height.
Bertram's like.
Yay!
Clamber up Bertram like he's a colossus.
Yeah, just riding on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got.
How he got those coconut shells, we do not know. How
I don't even know where he got those
Yeah, it's
coconut
like
shells.
you don't even know what a
They're
coconut
probably
is.
not even
Where did he
coconut.
find? Does he just find those lying on
DM
the
fire.
I really just think that they're like skull parts, like just like
It's probably what they are.
hemispheres.
Yeah.
Rabbits. It's actually just rabbit skull parts.
Yeah.
They look like coconut shells. It's just like the top part, and there's like short hair.
Yeah,
Buddy,
no.
tell me about the rabbits, George.
Oh, God.
Oh no!
So you guys march off into the north, into the weeds, trekking along. There is a bit of terrain, just a little bit of hill, as you guys get deeper into the evening, into the night. And there are some gullies and old riverbeds that are more just low pools now from the rain from earlier this week. They appeared to have filled up at that time, but as the beds were dry beforehand, doesn't appear to be a full river or stream anymore. You guys are trekking along. Perception plus alertness. Difficulty 6. As you all hike along down the trail.
Ooh, wow! I'm super good. Yeah. That's a botch.
I got
1, 1, 2, 2, 8.
Speak
That's
Bocce
much
ball.
for me too.
Nice.
Bocce
I
ball.
got 5.
You notice
I got 3.
So much
I wouldn't
zero.
have 3, but I got 1.
there's some interesting features.
I'm
around,
seriously
like,
having way too much fun riding
like,
my new horse.
After staring at this for a
Yeah.
week, anything not this is fascinating.
Oh, look at all this.
Yeah. You're 3. You're like, I feel like there's been travel around these areas. Like there's some terrain. You and Hickory both sort of zero in on what is obviously a trail that leads up along the bank over the largest crest, which is basically just elevation at out here in the plains. And the two of you start marching over it, followed by the rest of the crew. Let's see here. As you crest the small hillock, you see a small form at the bottom of the trail, as it becomes obvious that it's like down into a bit of a gully that sort of just drops off into a low elevation from the rest of the plain. Could be a large dog, could be a deer. It's down there, but it's standing there in the middle of the trail.
So is this just the people who saw things who see this, or do we all see this?
No, you all see this.
Because then I just try to point out, look! Immediately.
I reached out to Chloe for my gun.
Oh,
My
Chloe,
rifle.
Chloe comes along.
Oh yes.
Okay, yeah.
Does it look like
I'm not gonna carry my
Gun.
gun.
Does it look like
It's a big
regular
thing.
animal, or is it much bigger than a normal
It's
dog?
a form at this point. It's
a
a good jog down into this
If I
gully.
turn on my offsets, can I tell better what it is?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you want to. Or I think you can just turn. Well, depends on which power you're using.
I only have the 1 dot, so it's the
I think it's the night vision. Oh no, it's the heightened senses. Heightened senses, right?
Yeah.
It's a human. It's a small human.
I think it's a person.
Well, it's not a person until it speaks to us. And she pips her gun.
I'm gonna try to get a little bit closer. Try to get a look-see.
I'm a stealth follow.
Just keeping that gun aimed.
Yeah, sure.
Turn on my obfuscate. And I
Me too.
Slither down.
slither down the path. Just
I
to
can,
try
I
to
can
get
do
a
all the
closer
things he does because
Yeah.
Alright.
he's axe
Stay
dad.
close.
Not
Stay quiet.
I'm axe girl.
So that's like two or three lets you do invis.
It's the 1 second.
I think the first one is you have to be still, so we're using 2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to.
All right, so number 2, and as you guys make your way down, it becomes very obvious. It's a little girl. She's wearing buckskin leathers. She's got beads and feathers and small bits of bone in her hair and on her outfit, and she looks dead at both of you and sort of goes, "Hello."
Oh, she totally sees us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's I in sort of like she's not used to making that word.
oh.
Right.
We don't hunt these, do we?
No, we don't.
I'm torn between my
No,
I'm torn between my personal. This is Jaren. I'm not cool with murdering a tribe full of women and children, and Frederick's. He doesn't give a crap about murdering a tribe full of women and children if that's what's supposed to happen. So
Yeah, Abe is not really okay with it. Prop the
but
rifle up.
Does that mean we can play?
Wait a second.
Oh.
All right, let's
Like
get
like
back
like,
up
she,
here.
we
like
can
it's
ride
like it's a
horses
little bit of
together.
it's a little bit of a shout because you guys are still a little bit
Right.
away.
Right.
So like you realize she can't really hear you. She hears you muffled
Right.
whispering to him. So that's why she's like,
Scamper back up. We're gonna go talk to her.
You're going to go? Why can't I
I
go?
know, I'm
the
gonna
form
follow.
the form seems bored.
Right.
I mean, I'd be bored too. Yeah, so I follow Axe Dad.
All right. Actually, I get up and I sort of tip my hat, and then
Oh, to the
scamper back up.
oh, okay, I got. And Hickory's like, that was a little girl.
Yeah.
Ah.
Can I play with her?
I'm confused. Is this some sort of problem?
And when you give
I
the "it's a
don't
little
know.
girl," like,
That's
oh,
unexpected.
okay, then undoes the shot
Yeah.
and hands it
He's
back.
like, that's unexpected.
Campus probably close by.
What was that?
The campus probably close by.
He's like, well, yeah, it shouldn't be. That's, I mean, I guess.
I thought we were hunting big dog people.
We're hunting dog people. They never said they were big.
Yeah, they're probably not all gonna be big like the ones we hunted last time.
Yeah, but that one looks like me. Or that-
Yeah.
Have you never encountered these kind of dog people, as you call them?
No.
They can take shapes that look like people
Like this.
or
Sorry.
yeah. I just do like the weird like
Sorry.
cartoon. No, I do like a like Chuck Jones cartoon thing where I like turn my face into a wolf for a minute. Yeah, it's not
Sorry,
quite
Megan.
that. I can't do that.
That's
But,
weird.
For the
Yeah,
first
no.
time, I landed
No,
on that.
No, I've seen them, but they're big. They're not like that.
How do you
I
see
mean-
these creatures are made?
No, she's and I'm talking to Hickory like
No, she was not having
you
that
know
conversation.
either she's far from camp and doesn't care because that
Uh-huh.
doesn't seem panicked at all. Or the camp is much closer than we thought.
So maybe we scare her off, or what are we, or maybe I don't know what. That one's new.
Yeah, that's not.
But she hasn't turned into anything. So how do you know? Maybe it's just a girl.
Well, either way, it's weird for a little girl to be standing in the middle of a trail.
No, it's not.
Did you sense anything when you got close?
It's also the middle of the night. Right?
No.
Oh yeah, it's dead middle of the night. Like this is real fucking weird.
Yeah. There's
Okay, that
also,
is a little bit
yeah,
weird.
there's also the point that she can see us from that far away.
Well, not
She
just
could
that,
see them
but
when
the
they
both,
had
the
their
both
You
of
didn't
us.
mention that. Did you mention that?
No, the both of us were cloaked, and she still could see us.
Yeah.
So
He like puts his hand on the knife on his belt. And he's like, oh.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, yeah.
Reaches back for her rifle.
Chloe hands it back over.
Clunk.
He's like, so she saw you.
enough to say hi, and I
He like starts
guarantee you,
looking around like.
I guarantee you, we made no noise.
No, I know. Just, like, what happened other than, like, how do you know
She just said hi,
she said
and I
hi.
wanted to play with her, but he wouldn't. But Axe
right
wouldn't
where
let
we
me.
were.
Oh.
I guess if she could smell us.
He glances at you and at her, and because you've already got the rifle, he's like, cover me. And he takes his hand off of his belt, and he sort of saunters down the. He's like, if anyone wishes to join me who has a cool head, feel free. And he sort of wanders down.
Pull a rifle out and take cover like
I'm
on a
not
rock.
sure
and
how
just-
I would react in this personality to that. Should I roll a virtue or something? I mean, what do I do with that?
I don't know. Well, you want to play with her,
Yeah, I do want to play with her.
but
Yeah,
it
we
sounds
got
like
guns
he's.
on her.
But it sounds like he's gonna have a boring adult talk with her. So that's
Okay. I'll probably be like, "Can I play with her after you're done?"
yeah, sure, yeah.
If
So that's a yes. That's an obvious yes. That's like to you. I don't know.
Yay!
I don't know what Ms. Allen would do.
Frederick tells
stay
Bertram
put
to
like
stay back. He'll walk up. With,
I don't think Hannah was okay with this mission at all, so probably would not.
Yeah. And he goes, okay. And so you two saunter down the gully to the little girl.
Oh, she has that little hand pistol.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure how she'd react to this, so I'm just gonna say that she's hanging.
yeah, I
back.
think she was not 100%.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, I'm not 100% with it either, but
Yeah,
if it attacks him,
Mhm.
then it goes down.
Ave is
My cane is in
just,
hands.
I'm just sitting here singing a happy tune, going, "I'm gonna play with my new friend later." Yay!
So yeah, as you guys sort of approach, about the same distance where they were, she goes, "Hi," and sort of raises a hand, and Hickory sort of slows and then moves back up to saunter speed, and he goes, "Why, hello there. You speak English?" And she's like, "Some. Yeah. Some." And he's like, "What tribe?" And she goes, as you sort of saunter next to behind, her eyes brighten up a bit at that, and she goes, "Lo Chakota." And he goes, and he stops, and the hand goes to the knife, and he's like, "Where's the rest of the tribe?" She's like, "Camp," and points like off somewhere. And he goes, "How close?" And she goes, "Not close at all." And yeah, this like,
What do I roll to figure out if she's lying to me?
that's a wits plus subterfuge.
Wits plus subterfuge. I got 4 dice for that. Cool. It's 1 exploding. Let's see how it goes. It's 2 exploding. Hey,
Mhm.
3 successes.
She's that. This is a child of innocence and purity. That's 100%. That's accurate. And you can kind of tell from the flicker of the bushy eyebrows that Hickory's getting the same thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, and like he doesn't quite glance at you, but you feel the like lean of his psyche of like it's weird, and he goes, and why aren't you with them? And she's like, and she goes, she says, so that you didn't scare each other. Me and the eldest came to meet you. And he goes, and who's the eldest? And Lily looking around, she goes, the eldest is the eldest of our tribe. But he knew if he came to meet you, you'd probably attack him.
How loud are they talking down there?
You hear the
we just
snips,
hear the echo.
you hear the snips of a conversation.
Okay.
Aspects. You hear that there's a conversation, and it doesn't sound elevated. It just there's obviously a talk happening.
Frederick just kind of how tall? She's a little girl.
It's like 10.
Don't look
He squats down to get
distressed
him.
either.
Yeah.
All very
He says
relaxed.
They're having a nice conversation.
Not very far.
So it would
So
seem-
far. So far.
We're not
Okay.
here
Stay
we're
back.
not here to cause any harm or trouble. We just want to talk to you. And he reaches into his coat and pulls out a little doll made of rabbit fur and bones and stuff that's left over. And he
Better cause.
hands it to the
cry.
girl.
Lonely.
She sort of accepts it, and she looks at it and she goes, "Thank you," and she starts crying.
Woo! You killed this thing.
And Hickory's like,
Frederick's entirely pleased that it's like somebody took his gift.
yeah.
Yes, this is what you were
So
now
is loud
thankful.
crying? Do we hear the crying?
No, it's like whimpery.
They're too far down.
And you hear she goes, "Thank you. No, it's okay. I don't know what.
Oh,
Damn
dear
it,
God.
I just looked at it.
or something like that.
You monster."
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
You were correct.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
Guilty.
Guilty as
She's like, "No, thank you. It's nice. I'll keep it with my other one. Thank you."
I don't even know how to take that.
Yeah.
Please
I'm
forgive
very
me, others.
Yeah.
What
So
is it?
she like long snot white
Yeah.
on the sleeve, and she goes, "I'm called Little Bug, and the elder and I came out here to meet you because we've seen you would come."
You seem to come.
And we saw
It is very interesting.
and we saw you'd come, and some of us thought it meant that it was bad things, but some of us knew that it just meant different things. But a lot of adults think that different is bad.
That is very true. A lot of adults do think that different is bad. Like this guy.
Oh, it's gonna be like Frankenstein, that little girl.
Yeah.
Throw her in a lake.
Oh Jesus!
And
yeah.
Hickory's like, "All right then, where's the elder then?" And she goes,
What are they doing?
he's back there around a rock to make sure that you guys
They try to climb on you.
were okay
Yeah.
to talk
I'm
before
just looking
coming out.
down. Right.
And she's like, "You guys promised just to talk, right?"
Just stay quiet.
Of course, you have my word.
I'm bored.
And
I know.
Hickory's like,
Stay quiet.
"For now, we promise, just talk." And she goes, "Okay," and bolts back down the gully. Just doesn't even care that two scary big ass men vampires are there, and just skitters back down the gully. So you see Bertram kneels down, or Frederick kneels down, hands off a little toy.
Oh Jesus, what's he getting?
It's sort of like shakes a little, runs its arm,
talking.
thing.
I'll play.
and so, and thing, and then she goes bolting down the gully, but neither of the two move.
Can we go now? Can I go? Can I go?
Hold your horses.
Lowers the gun. Does the bolt. Hands it.
Just a constant.
Aid is just still as a rock.
Hickory
There's no
looks at you and
signal
goes,
one way or the other, so the
"I'll let him
rifle's
know."
still trained.
That sort of like trots up the trail, trots back up. He's like, so apparently we're gonna have a little meeting with one of their tribal elders. I think the little girl and them are an emissary. So
they're expecting us.
Well,
So
at least
she is-
these two are.
So she is a dog person?
I imagine so. She said she has dreams and that they saw us coming.
I have dreams too. That doesn't make me one of those.
Yeah.
Well, that's.
Well, if you want to be there for the talk, come on down. And
Did I get the name of the ghost that I talked to?
which ghost?
I don't want to be there for talking. I want to be there for playing. When are you playing?
If you wrote it down, then yes.
I started
But if not,
talking
I didn't
before
write
I
it down, so I might not have given one.
Really?
The
I can
ghost
show
in
some of my
the
knives.
courthouse?
I have 3 of them
Yeah.
now.
Don't pull the knives on them quite yet.
No, I didn't write it down.
No,
Wait until they let you.
I didn't get any information.
So yeah, he goes jogging back down the gully to Frederick.
You know,
if
just to
anyone
be
cares
polite.
to,
I go now.
truck along.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I follow along this time.
So
It's good to be nice.
as you guys make it down into the gully, you see farther down from the dark cast of the lack of moonlight that doesn't quite make it down under the dirt and rocks that make this channel. You see.
Do you need me to run cover just in case?
Hickory goes, no, this isn't. This is different. If this is a trap, it's a good one.
I wasn't part of that conversation, but I'm
What
sort
does
of
that
glad
mean?
you're saying
What's a
that.
good trap?
Ones that you can't see coming.
Yeah.
I mean, the bunch that I can think of right here, right now, wouldn't do as much good to be separated. So, I'm fine with seeing where this goes.
All together it is.
And from
Trust in that.
that dark curtain down at the end of the gully, you see the little girl, and she's sort of like weaving back and forth, just walking from one side of the gully to the other, sort of touching the rock absentmindedly. And from behind her is this shamble of skins,
In the shape of a person.
being held up by an old, frail man. Basically, the Indian from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
All right.
And
Oh.
he, in fact, also holds a pile of sand or dirt or soil in his left hand, and in his right, he uses also a small cane. And slowly but surely, the dust seems to pour out from off of his hand, but none of it seems to ever actually dissipate. And he just shuffles his way forward.
Where is the girl right now?
She comes up.
Okay. I immediately go up to her and say, "Hi, my name's Tosha. It's short for Niktosha and it means little horse."
And she goes, "Oh, I'm a little creature too. I go by Little Bug."
Yay!
She's like,
Can we play while the adults do boring things?
she goes, "Yeah,
Yay!
the one with the funny face hair just gave me a toy, and it matches the one that Sam gave me." And she pulls out another little doll that looks like sort of like a rabbit,
Oh,
that sort of thing. She's like, "Sam didn't come back."
does that make
Oh,
you sad?
no.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, wait a minute.
She hands you the one Sam made.
this
And
is nice.
I'm pretty sure I may have had Sam's dried blood on my sword
Oh,
at some
God.
point or another.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
goes, and she goes,
Yeah.
"You know, there's a legend of the jackalope.
Oh,
You know what a jackalope is?"
I think I've heard this one before,
And
but
she-
but I don't know if I know your story.
She puts fingers up on top of the head of the little rabbit toy. She goes, "They're rabbits with antlers."
Frederick hears her say that. Hang on just a second.
For academic purposes, I need you to explain this to me.
Let me see that doll for a second.
She hands it up.
Reaching the bag, turn back around.
And voila.
Now it has antlers.
And she goes, "Oh."
They're just literally like leg bones, but still.
What about this one?
Don't change that one.
No. This is the one.
Oh,
This is not enough. This is not enough material on that one for me.
She's like, that's okay. Oh, we can. She's like, no, we can pretend. It's fine.
Yeah, pretend is fun.
And so like, you two start talking about how like the jackalope, like the rabbit's jealous of the jackalope because it has antlers so it can defend itself, but the jackalope is jealous of the rabbit because it doesn't have all this weight on its head.
Yeah. I just like straight up make up stories because I'm not sure if those were part of my heritage. I don't know. I probably have some from my people.
So just when it's about to get good, the elder sort of stops a few yards away from the pack, and she goes, I have to help. We'll play some more.
Oh,
You can
okay.
you can hang on to Sam's rabbit. I'll get it back. And and so she comes over and puts her hand on the pile of skins, and she goes, "This is the elder, and he has spoken through me since my third summer, and he greets you as honorable warriors, and thanks you for your honor in talking."
In like an uncharacteristically like proper way, because Bill has actually dealt with Native Americans before. When she went to Chicago, they were just building the society, so she like actually does what she considers a proper greeting for the people that she was used to working with. That she like bows and is like a thing.
Abe actually removes his hat and takes a knee.
You probably have some, like, my memories only go up to as old as Mikosha was. But I do remember some things from my people and probably sort of do a thing that I saw my dad do, which is probably not accurate.
You see a couple of respectful genuflections. And then you see at this that the cane comes up and taps its chest and comes back down, and she says, he thanks you for showing respect and shows it to you as well, and hopes that whatever spirits guide each of us to bless us further. The eldest and I have dreams, and we saw moons ago that your kind would come, and we know that you will destroy our people. But that's okay, because we're going to join a different people between where the sun and the moon fight. So once you destroy us, we won't worry anymore because we'll be with them. And you see the pile sort of rustle, and she goes, the opposite of south.
North.
Yes, Noth. Noth are the
NOTH.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Noth are the
NAW.
Sioux people. We will join them and become Sioux. Whereas La Chakota will no longer be. And like Hickory at this point is just.
I see what you're saying.
He taps Hickory. He taps Hickory on the shoulder, kind of beats her. Yeah, we are not specifically here to kill them.
Well, I know that's what your president would want. My prince just wants to make sure that they're no longer a problem. And if that's necessary, it's necessary. If it's not, then that's fine.
I don't believe it is.
Well, I'm interested to see what.
Sure, so it doesn't seem like it, right?
Yeah,
They
but if we
wanted
kill him,
to-
we can't play.
We need some sort of
That's right.
proof of dealing with them for
No
the
reason.
president's satisfaction.
You hear the little girl go, yeah, we have proof for you.
He just get like Deadeye. At that point,
both.
it's like Deadeye, and then Protean like a red eye glare just like turns on like.
Girl, you listen to my conversations.
You notice that the visage has a smile. And she goes, sorry, yes, but the elder and I, we hear very well, we see very well, and I don't know all the white man words, the English words for some stuff. So
Is that just okay, Fraulein? English is a bastard language.
what's that?
I beg your pardon.
Speak for yourself.
The English lady.
Yeah.
No. What
Yeah,
they
yeah.
speak is a bastardized language. English is not.
My apologies.
What they speak.
Hey, lady, according to from what I understand, I speak the same accent as you. That's what it was when I came over here.
I do not believe so.
Many apologies, Fraulein.
Oh, I'm confused.
Hickory
Wow.
makes a very pointed
Proud,
throat
yes.
clear.
Aucune opinion là-dessus.
I agree.
Hickory chuckles. She goes. We have the Lochakota have a. We have our heart. We have a rock, a toy.
A toy?
Kinda, but we're not allowed to play. Well, I'm not allowed to play with it. The eldest gets to play with it. No. Use it. Well,
That sounds adult.
anyway, that's who we are. That's what makes us a tribe. So, if we go north and join the Sioux, you get our heart, and you can destroy it, and end our people.
Can I do an intelligence and occult
Yeah, I feel like
roll
that's
to
definitely
try
a
and
cool
figure
roll.
out if I've heard something like this from other tribes?
Absolutely.
It's their totem.
At least, things from other werewolves.
Yeah. 6.
Okay, so make sure I have the numbers. 8. Okay.
What'd you get?
1.
1. Yeah, you figured out as much as everyone else that it's this thing that
So
represents their tribe.
there
That
will be no
Yeah.
successes yet, but this might.
I'm like real dad.
Okay,
said
well,
that
one
at some
success.
point.
same.
Sounds
You're like,
fair.
yeah, no, it's okay. This could work. This maybe all right. The kid and the old guy are clever. All right, okay, that's what's going on here. But yeah, and Hickory too. He's like, so the heart of your people. This relic, this totem. Yes, it's like that's what represents your people. So if we take it, we can destroy it and say we destroyed your people because you won't be a tribe anymore. Yeah. You see the cane come up to the chest again, sort of as an affirmative. And she's like, yeah, that's, and the rest of the tribe will follow us once we've told them that you won't hunt us any farther to go join the Sioux.
And then we can all play.
Yeah. No?
Aw.
They're going to be going far away.
They won't be around anymore for you.
They'll be far north.
Oh, okay.
Frederick, at least from my perspective, Frederick is more than happy to. He's concerned about the wolves coming into territory, which means that as long as they're not coming into territory, he has no reason to destroy them. And he's intensely interested in some sort of crazy magical artifact that probably has something to do with the spirit of the land, which is he's all about.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So Hickory's like, Okay, so how does that work? And she goes, so we keep it in a cave down in the gully
Of course.
because those are our that's where we grew from, and so we can take you there to get it, and then we part ways and we become Sue. Well, he won't. And he sort of smiles at her, but I will, and the rest of the tribe will.
And why won't he?
Because he won't make it.
Because he's
You see, you like
say that.
like at the he won't make it. You see the cane in the hand sort of come up to her hand and set back down, and that dirt is still going. Like it's unsettling. It's the sand. Yeah,
Wow.
it's running.
All right, well, if the rest of you don't mind, why don't we go on to the caves?
That sounds like a plan. I like this much better.
Or like her. You can sense her and another pair of eyes like scan the group to get a read.
Oh, yeah.
And even Hickory's like doing the all right nod. And she goes, yay, we can play for a bit. Yay! And like as soon as you hear the yay, the elder sort of wheels around and starts hobbling because he's gonna need a hell of a head start. And and Hickory's like, I expected this to go as even when I woke up.
I instruct Bertram to go walk close by to the old man or the old man. I don't know. We can't tell.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. Like you can tell he's scared of the old man.
You stay back.
Okay.
I'll do it. I'll go walk with the old man.
You also are like, like it's the same vibe you get when you're around a much higher generation vampire, but like sort of a calm pressure,
right?
To stay off. If you sort of like fight it a little to get in there to help, it sort of eases off, but like it's still just exudes power. Right. It's uncanny.
Yeah.
You can but wonder if you'd thrown down.
Right. No, I don't even think my mind goes to that. I just sort of help along, and it's like, if this dude sneezes, I will split in half.
You somehow get the sense that just the presence of the hand on the skins lets him sort of propel a little steadier. Fascinating as it is, the little girl, Lil Bug, comes up, and she goes, "Let me see the rabbit back real quick." And she like whispers in its ear, and she hands it back to you, and she goes, and then she pulls out the jackalope, and she tries to whisper in its ear, and she's like, this one doesn't work the same.
What do you mean?
Usually they have a life. This one doesn't.
I mean, it had a life.
She goes, "That's okay though."
Probably multiple.
And she like pulls out
Can we just pretend that it has life?
Yeah, but hold on. And she pulls out another one that's like a little twine a deer, and she whispers in that one's ear, and she goes, okay, and then she goes, hold on, and she runs to the other end of the gully, like down where they're walking.
Okay.
And she holds up the doll, and she motions to put yours towards your ear, and she goes, "Hello."
Wow.
And she goes,
You can hear this?
"Yeah, but don't talk so loud. It just comes out."
Sorry, you can hear this.
Yes.
This is so neat.
It's the life in the creatures. Oh, they speak.
Huh. Never said anything to me before, but that's really neat.
She goes, yeah, it'll go away. I'm not that strong. But for tonight.
Okay.
And she like talks to you from behind the at the
Aw,
back.
telephone.
And
That's
yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Weird stuffy doll telephone.
Right. With bones.
while you're trekking along with the elder,
Mm.
you oddly become introspective about your goal as a soldier and your position as a thing, and the order, like all these things that you never really have a problem with ever
Right.
start to creep in a little.
The weavers.
And every so often you'll feel it damp back down, like something's trying to stop itself.
Right.
You guys get farther down into the gully. And like it's amazing how steep this thing goes, and there are just caves, like honeycomb, pockmark, and there's obvious signs of past inhabitants of this area, and you follow a very well-worn trail into one of the larger caves, and you sort of wend your ways down. Who doesn't have dark vision, nighttime seeing aspects?
I don't have aspects.
I have aspects.
I don't have it.
If anyone mentions light or anything, the sand glows, and the trail lights behind and stays luminescent for a good little ways.
Well, that's
That's the fanciest shit I've ever seen.
That's
Witchcraft, kill it.
that good shit. You get the slightest peak of am I a monster? Like when it lights up, and then
Right.
it damps back down again.
you get the
Yeah,
slight
no,
speak of.
this is
I'm not
my
good enough at being a monster.
that's my secret fear.
Wow.
And yeah, like it's almost like the light of the sand starts to illuminate or activate sigils and etchings in the walls as you make your way deeper, and you all have a sense of unease, like you're trespassing.
Your spirit's about.
But yeah, but so long as you have these two with you, you're allowed, which is incredibly strange. Did you try and bring Chloe and Bertram along, or?
Well, I mean, they were with us, but I imagine I told Bertram like to hang back if he doesn't feel like he should be somewhere.
I have a small handgun with me, but I left Chloe.
Chloe
at
and
the mountain.
Bertram.
This is
are
not
hanging
the place
out
for
in front
Chloe
of-
things for
No.
Chloe to see.
hanging out with Chloe and Bertram out by the front of the cave. So you French?
No, but I have to be.
That's right.
I didn't know.
So as you make your way deep into these sacred halls, you finally come to a cavern. Yeah. Sacred halls. Yeah. You finally find a. You come to what obviously is a small altar. Even entering this room is a test of willpower. But you see sitting around a small votive situation, a piece of amethyst that appears to have like an air plant growing out of it, but it's a huge chunk of rock. Little bug runs over to it, and before she gets to it, she looks over at the eldest. At this point, he's not even trying to hide it. Like you've backed off totally because
Yeah.
and the sand itself sort of like ants just sort of moves across the walls and the ceiling and lights it up, and like it's all connected. It's a hell of a sight. She looks over and he goes, and she picks it up and she turns around, and as she holds it, you can see that there's like a liquid or something sloshing inside of it, and it reflects light almost like starbursts.
How pretty.
And she's like, yeah, it's our heart, but we're gonna be sued. Well, I'm going to be sued.
Yeah.
And she holds it up and she goes, "Who will take it?" And like, yeah,
Frederick is intensely
yeah,
interested in this thing. Like,
yeah, like Hickory is about to let you, and then he leans forward and goes, I think I'll." and he sort of he like kneels down and he's like, we'll talk, and he takes it and like
salivating.
you hear
Oh, God.
you hear the slightest little bit of popping and he goes, oh.
Everybody close your eyes.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
look at it, Marion.
Don't look at it.
Yeah, he's like he quickly sort of puts it into one of his ammo pouches and he rearranges just a little. It's about the size of a softball.
Okay.
With the little heart with the little air plants
I
coming
was
off.
thinking bowling ball at first, so okay.
Yeah,
softballs.
large animals or medium animal skull situation.
Yeah,
and,
gotcha.
yeah, and so he sort of nestles it in there and he like brushes the plant over so that it doesn't squash it and sort of puts the flap over and sort of like adjusts his lean and he goes. And he sort of looks from Little Bug to the elder, and he goes, "We have moved the Lochakota, wrote the damn thing, the Lochakota from this land."
Removed.
Indeed. And Little Bug goes, "I'm gonna be sued, and the elder will stay." And you see that there's no sand left in his hands. And the light starts to fade from where his hand is. And he sort of becomes a darker area in the room. And the lights are all solid, steady. And she goes, "If you can't see in the dark, we should go." And she sort of like skips out.
Oh,
Okay. Skips out with.
And she takes you a little more circuitous, like you're like, but the light is that way, okay. And
Like as we're leaving, I'm like, but is he going to be okay in there?
oh yeah, no, he's good.
Won't he be lonely without you?
No, he has plenty of friends in there.
He'll be fine.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, there are friends in here.
That's
Grip
where he
tightens
wants
around
to
the
be.
cane. Like,
Actually, yeah, you hear the
Yeah.
two of you have been hearing whispers the entire time.
Yeah, they're all the friends in here.
They're in the periphery. There are some louder than others.
That one's rather rude.
But by virtue, a bunch of them would be incredibly rude. But by virtue of your guides, you are spared the bulk of the situation. Yeah, you guys get back out, and she looks around and she goes, "Well, it was nice to meet you. I guess, friend, but." It's weird to call someone your friend when they destroy your people.
Oh,
So
that makes me kind of sad.
It should.
she's like,
Yeah.
yeah. She goes, all right, well,
Enjoy being Sue.
Yeah.
yeah. Don't come hunting us.
They're
And then-
super good people.
Like with that, she
Thanks
just
for playing
she
with me. What about
Same.
your doll?
that one's yours.
Oh.
And she runs off. Yeah.
Bye.
And like Bertram's like, and even Chloe's like,
This shit
I
weird.
pat Bertram on the side. Bertram, it's okay. It'll go off, and I'll make you a new doll or
it's
something.
just a man and his horse being hanged dead.
On the other hand, would you stop that completely? You're embarrassing me. Come.
And so
I was cold.
and Hickory chuckles. at that. Yeah, he walks with a noticeable more bow-legged situation, like whatever he can do to keep that hip away from him.
Hickory, I would be very, very happy to
would totally
keep
love
that
to
very
touch that.
safe for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to.
Well, let me hang on to it for a bit, and we got a bit of a ride.
Can I just taste
We've
this?
got a bit of a ride.
Just a little lick.
I just want to lick it just once.
We've got a few days back to. We've got a few days to Kansas City.
want
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Like if
He
you
rubbed my
if you
face
press
on
him
the
a
side.
little
You're
bit,
shiny.
he'll be like, "We've got a few days in Kansas City, and then we've got that whole week back to St. Louis." So
No, that's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, none of that turned out the way I prepped for.
Yeah. Right?
This is probably the tale of a lifetime, and yet I feel no words to tell it to anybody.
No one would believe it.
Even then,
I feel like I barely appreciate it because I have to experience this as my youngest persona.
Do your other other personas absorb that info?
Some like they do, but Natasha is the one that has the least understanding that there's others.
So you all get back to camp, and there's a bunch laid out still, because it's the end of the night, and he's like, "Sun will be up soon. We best get to bed."
yep.
Looking around.
You notedly see the pack get passed off to Aloysius, to Al, and he stashes it in a lockbox of the lead wagon.
They
A
saw these
lockbox.
looks.
Yeah. Well, this shit is
And
the hottest shit.
like with sort of a even though he doesn't breathe, Hickory ties off his horse and spins around and walks right off into the plains and thumps himself down. Yeah. Unless anyone wants to engage him a bit more.
No, not at this point in time.
No.
I'm trying to absorb things.
Yeah.
But it's time to go to bed.
Eve has some thinking to do.
Yeah, 'cause you had like weird.
Yeah, I had weird.
He had a small
I had
existential
a
crisis.
weird, like, literal spiritual journey for a little bit.
I feel like if you're just sit down, just like, hey,
I take a moment
Hey.
to like
hey, okay.
I'm all right.
listen
I'm all
to see
right.
if anything's
Take
around.
a seat. You want to sit down?
I
No,
just like
well,
have my doll.
And smoke a pipe.
you hear
Sit here for
you hear,
a bit
you
before
hear
I
the
go to
land.
bed.
You hear the creatures that you've been hearing this entire trip. Nothing. So oddly, nothing different.
Bring books over to you.
Nice.
Do you happen to have any of that?
I sure do. That's why I prepped before to actually hand you a little pouch.
No
Pulls
wayward
He pulls
spirits.
a meerschaum pipe out of his,
Nothing weird.
Good man. Take a
No.
seat if you like.
Oddly, no,
Sits
not
down
around the
and
camp.
sits near the fire.
Just like sitting in silence.
But you
just,
do
like,
hear-
smoking.
Howls in the distance and a few yips that sound promising.
Few yips that sound promising.
I know that's what would make
It's not gifts.
Go ahead and make.
You know?
What would you? What is
Well-
your hunting role then?
So I don't know. Mostly, so I have the special
Fucking
ability
smoking. Oh.
of inoffensive to animals, so animals don't run from me specifically.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
I have animalism, so I can talk to them, and then I have points in animal kin.
Yeah, give me a whiz plus animal ken.
Whiz
Whiz
plus
plus
animal ken.
difficulty 6. 4.
Can I spend?
Yeah, willpower to give yourself
willpower.
successes.
Yeah, I'm gonna at least spend 1 point of willpower to give myself a
Because
success.
you want that. That's definitely.
Is-
It is notably quiet, but not unsettlingly so, which is interesting on its
Okay.
own.
I got that 1 success.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah, you think that they're hunting towards the west, which is where you're headed tomorrow. So
Okay.
that's promising. The howls themselves, not so much more distant, but the yips. That sounds like what you might be after.
Yep.
Two yips and a wolf.
And
He sits back down on the vortex. He says, "I think we're going to have a few surprises tomorrow night. Would you do you keep pets?" No, I'm not being facetious here. I don't mean like Bertram or like that poor woman that the English lady has.
Sometimes.
You like
It
dogs?
was full out in the wild.
do you like tags?
I think you may be interested in something tomorrow night. If you would care to join me.
Sure.
What is it? Can I come with?
Are you good with animals?
No.
Define good.
Do they run screaming at your sight?
No. But sometimes they're too loud.
That might be a bit of a problem. But I promise that if you will let me take your friends here for a short excursion tomorrow,
Bill
That
has
I-
gone to find Kevin.
that I will bring you a thing
boys.
pretty.
You hear
Well,
you,
at least
That
you
sounds
hear
nice.
like two of them are passed
We'll
out.
bring you a gift.
The other one was
Yay!
like, no,
So easy.
no.
Like, no,
I'm just gonna have like.
I don't
wake
make
up and
deals
say
with anything that
weird
doesn't
shit
It's a
breathe.
deal.
and be like, what?
Oh. Oh, I see.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
That's been my rule since Hickory. No.
I wasn't gonna make a deal with you, but now I'm a little upset.
Sorry.
Yeah, eat one of your fingers.
I know. I
I was
don't.
just gonna ask you to play cards, but
Oh, okay.
no,
but just-
no.
But just cards, not like for money.
No, for money.
No. I don't play. I don't play cards for money. I don't know a lot about Hickory and his kind, but I know enough to know.
Oh, okay. You're perfectly fine using me to make money for yourself, but you won't put yourself in a position for me to possibly make money off you. I don't think that's very fair.
No, it's not.
You're right.
He points. He's like. I know what that's about. And he points at the. He's like, I know what that's about. I don't know a lot about you guys. No.
Which one am I talking to?
Probably Gret.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Classic grid.
Classic Gret.
Well, I'm gonna remember this, Cred.
Yeah.
Should call him Dreg from now on.
Gaylord.
Gaylord.
I mean, that term hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah.
So it's just a name currently.
But it's a good
It's-
2-syllable.
Yeah.
It has some punch
Like-
to it,
like-
both
like,
syllables.
You know,
Yeah.
like Harriet. You know, as
Yeah.
opposed to
Saying somebody's full name as opposed to their.
Even
You put-
Gaylord.
You put
Yeah.
weight on that T.
Yeah.
Harriet.
3 XP.
Hey.
She kicks him as she walks away.
Ow!
You deserve it.
Maybe.
You did it to yourself, Grid.
How do you learn new discipline? If it's like one of yours, your
Oh, if it's a clan discipline, you can go ahead and just drop
You
the
just
dot
give
into it.
yourself
Yeah,
one die.
it's
They're innate.
5 times the point value that it currently is. So if you want to get a second dot, it's 5 XP.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me consult the.
Yeah, your clan disciplines are sort of, you don't need a tutor because they're sort of in your, then your bloodline,
Yeah.
in your clan's genetic memory.
New discipline is 10,
That's a new discipline.
but it doesn't differentiate.
Yeah, or if it's if you don't have any points in it, it's 10, and then like if you already have a point in it, then it's 5 times the value of your class or your
Yeah.
clan.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and that part always made sense, but I guess
yeah,
it's just
they-
a flat 10
There used to
for.
be a difference, right? Maybe I don't know.
Well, actually, I would check the
Fancy
book.
Yeah.
the fourth.
That
ed,
one has
I guess.
Come on, fancy book. I want an aspect.
the fancy book has the more definitive
Right.
Yeah, because
answer.
for ones that are just your clan discipline, you don't have to like learn them. You just kind of are like, I exist in this state, so I get better at it
Yeah.
eventually.
I think usually for other, at least that's how I've always seen it played. Like you need sort of a
Which long game?
GM's reason.
Which long game wise makes most sense for you just to drop a dot into each at the at your
Yeah,
creation,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's metagaming.
But yeah, the GM has to give an approval
Just be
of
right at the beat. Right at the
you
beginning
find a
of the
teacher
discipline
or
section.
like you're like I do
No, it's
this
typically
multiple
at the end of,
times. Can I,
third grade.
you know,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know,
extrapolate
from
and
past
get
ones.
Yeah, let me take a look.
this discipline from
Well,
it?
it won't be in there because the second book is just all the.
The lore and the
Yeah,
plans.
oh, there it went.
Oh,
White Wolf bindings.
oh yeah. No, New Orleans, but close enough.
Or first edition
All right.
exalted book just deboned itself at some point.
As stimulating as rule lawyering of White Wolf systems is,
Yeah, sure.
I think we're good then.
This is what the audiences are all waiting for.
Yeah, you know it.
Us
All right.
debating the rules.
Tell me the
Okay.
rules, bitches.
Clan discipline current rating times 5, and an other discipline if it's a discipline outside of your clan is current rating times 7.
Yeah, but it still only says new discipline 10.
Yeah, so that's if you don't have any dots in it. If you're giving yourself a new
So
discipline.
flat 10 to learn the new one, but then they're harder. If they're not your clan discipline, they're harder
to
to
upgrade.
Yeah, boo. All right.
Good night, internet.
Say goodnight,
learn
Internet.
internet.